It's our entire crew. So proud to be here to salute Veterans Weekend for the USS San Diego and salute with the mission that these folks do. Stand Mick from Northwestern and Michigan. Dave and Brian, take it away.
There goes the GOAT. All right, Chris, welcome to coverage of college football presented by Cars.com and ESPN and ESPN 3D. A critical Big Ten Legends Division showdown. Number 24 Northwestern taking on Michigan from the Big House in Ann Arbor. Michigan tied with Nebraska at 4-1. Cornhuskers own the head-to-head tiebreaker. Northwestern only a game back with 3 conference games to play. Michigan will be without Denard Robinson, still bothered by that nerve injury in his throwing elbow. He is dressed but not expected to play. Did not throw on Thursday. Devin Gardner took all the snaps with the first group and will make his 2nd consecutive start at quarterback. Played QB in high school, played quarterback and spot duty last year, but was a wide receiver for most of this season. When Robinson got hurt in the Nebraska game, they went with Russell Bellamy at quarterback. He struggled. And then the following week, they moved Gardner back to QB. And he played well last week in a win against the Gophers, accounting for 3 touchdowns. Steve Flaherty will kick it away. And Dennis Norfleet is the deep man for Michigan. Norfleet will take a knee. It will come out to the 25. Now Devin Gardner is a dual threat, but Brian, he's more the type of quarterback that Al Borges and Brady Hoke want in their system for the future.
Yeah, at Michigan they want to run the football in a power 2-back set, and Devin Gardner is the kind of quarterback that can sit in the pocket, play action, throw the ball down the field, and then when plays break down, he's got that elusiveness to extend plays and make plays with his feet. But he's more of a traditional style quarterback than Denard Robinson.
And they go out of the 2-back on first down, and a short setting throw to Gallen that's caught for a gain of about 7. Let's check in with the 3rd member of our crew for the latest on Denard. Here's Jen.
Thanks, Dave. Well, I spent some time before the game talking to the head athletic trainer for Michigan, Paul Schmidt. I asked him about Denard's injury. He said the trouble with an injury to the ulnar nerve is unlike a high ankle sprain or a tear in the MCL, ACL, there's no predictable timetable for an injury to that elbow, the return. He just doesn't know. So with Denard, they said, look, he's day-to-day, like you said, resting Thursday. He's got a sleeve he can wear for protection if they need it.
All right, Jen, Toussaint able to break a tackle and pick up the first down. So with Denard out, that means a guy like Toussaint really has to get going. Had a great year last year, led all Big Ten rushers in conference games a year ago, but he's averaging only 3.5 yards per carry this year and a total of 391 yards.
Well, not having Denard Robinson in the game is going to change fundamentally what Michigan does offensively, and Toussaint is more of a downhill back. He's not the kind of back that's traditional in the spread look, so get some good looks in this game.
First down on the 38. Again out of 2-back. Oh, dangerous play there. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Quentin Williams. Gardner was trying to set up the screen to the back. Toussaint almost intercepted. Here's Denard in warm-ups. Tell us what you see here, Brian.
The thing with this injury is you can't grip the ball. And if you can't grip the ball, then you can't direct it where you want it to go. You see Devin Gardner throwing the football and Jack Kennedy, but Denard didn't take any reps in the quarterback warm-ups. And when you can't grip the ball, there's really nothing you can do, nothing Denard Robinson can do to get back any quicker.
Out of the eye on 2nd and 10, a quick pitch to Toussaint, and a nice play by Quentin Williams, taking him down for a loss.
Back-to-back plays from Quentin Williams, and this defense for Northwestern, you know one thing, when you play against a Pat Fitzgerald coach team, they are going to play physical, they're going to be disciplined, and this defense has kept them in many games this year. They've only lost twice, right?
Yeah.
The only breakdowns they've had have been in the 4th quarter against Nebraska and Penn State. This defense has to play 60 minutes today.
Officially no gain. Did lose about a half yard. 3rd down and 10. Michigan number 1 in the Big Ten on 3rd down conversions. Gardner gets hit but delivers the pass. Unable to hang on to it though was Gerald Robinson. It's incomplete. and Michigan will punt the football. Daniel Jones had pressure on the quarterback Gardner as he released it.
So Pat Fitzgerald decides to come after a young quarterback. Take a look. There's no safety back. They're going to bring everybody. Gardner throws the ball to the right spot, takes a big hit, and Robinson has just got to make this play. The ball's there to be made. You got to make that play for a young quarterback. Be physical and get to that football.
And now Venrick Mark, one of the more dangerous return men, will get a shot on the line drive kick. He's got 2 punt returns for touchdowns. And Mark takes it out to the 23-yard line. Welcome inside the booth along with Brian Greasy, Jen Brown down on the field. I'm Dave Pash. Brian, Devin Gardner, a guy that played quarterback in high school, played some last year, his second straight start. What'd you think of that opening series?
Well, that last throw against an all-out blitz, taking a shot in the pocket and delivering the ball on target is a really good sign. And a young quarterback, you worry about their nerves early in the game. First game he's ever started at Michigan Stadium, and I think off the bat is a good sign.
Northwestern's got a pretty dangerous quarterback in Kane Coulter. He's rushed for over 600 yards. He'll pitch it here to Mark. And Mark did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Thomas Gordon knocks him down for no gain.
Well, they've taken Kane Coulter from his wide receiver position and moved him back to quarterback. Remember, there was a stretch in the middle of the season where Trevor Siemian was playing a lot at the quarterback position. But I like what Pat Fitzgerald and Mick McCall, offensive coordinator, have done, getting the ball in their best players' hands.
Coulter taking off, and he's going to lose yardage. Dumped at the 19 by J.T. Floyd, a loss of a couple on the play. Michigan, an excellent defense under coordinator Greg Madison.
This is a good defense, but when you have a miscommunication in the backfield between Mark and Coulter, you're doomed from the beginning, and that's not the way that Northwestern wants to start this game.
So 3rd down and 12. Northwestern is number 2 in the Big Ten, behind Michigan in 3rd down conversions, but they have to get to the 32-yard line. Coulter completing 70% of his passes, and a leaping catch made at the 39-yard line by Christian Jones for a 1st down.
A long developing play and a great concentration by Christian Jones. Controls that ball all the way to the ground. Remember, you got to control it to the ground and have 1 foot in.
19 yards, and now Venrick Mark grabbed in the backfield and brought down by Frank Clark. Another negative play, loss of 1. This Michigan defense 7th in the country in total defense, 13th in points allowed, and number 1 in pass defense in the nation.
And the biggest difference has really been their attitude and their effort. When you watch this team play, there'll be 6, 7, 8 hats around the football every time on every play, and that's made a big difference in their performance.
They go out of empty here. Coulter in trouble. Takes off and has a running lane. To the 45. 1st down and more. All the way to the Michigan 44-yard line. An 18-yard run by Kane Coulter, and Desmond Morgan eventually got him.
This is why you put Kane Coulter back at quarterback. Let him throw the ball, and if it breaks down, he becomes your best element to make a play. Runs right around Jake Ryan. That was no match. But Kane Coulter is an athlete that can throw the football.
Another run here on 1st down. The pitch to Trumpy, and Trumpy does well, showing his vision. He found the running lane and takes it inside the 30. All the way to the 23 before J.T. Floyd knocks him out of bounds. It's a 21-yard scamper.
The option element to this offense is what makes it different than so many other offenses we see in the spread. The ability for Coulter to get to the edge and then pitch and read that consistently is really what scares defensive coordinators like Greg Madison.
1st down from the 23. 7th play of the drive. First man through. And they grab him after a gain of 1. Trumpy unable to move the pile. Check that. It was Tim Riley on the carry. Michigan hasn't allowed an opening. Hasn't allowed an opponent to score on the opening drive. They haven't given up a 1st quarter touchdown since week 1. And they haven't even given up points in the 1st quarter since week 2. There's Jordan Kovacs, the leader of that secondary, hoping to make a play here. 2nd and 8 for Northwestern. They go out of the empty with Kane Coulter. They'll shift Mark into the backfield with a play clock at 5. And here's Mark. Big hole right down the middle of the defense to the 9-yard line. A 12-yard run. Cam Gordon on the stop. The Northwestern with a terrific opening drive.
Take a look. Only 5 guys in the box for Michigan. That's advantage Northwestern. They've got 5 blockers up front. Beautifully executed. And Michigan, if they're going to stop this inside running game, I don't think they're going to be able to do it with 5 guys in the box. They've got to get an extra guy down.
Tyrus Jones in the backfield now with Mark. So they've got 2 tailbacks in there. First down and goal just inside the 10-yard line. Here's Mark. Spinning out of the tackle and then stacked up at the 4. Venrick Mark, really an unknown nationally. But you look at his stats, he's number 2 in the Big Ten in rushing. He's number 1 in all-purpose yards. He's only 175 pounds. But you saw him stick it in there. He's not afraid to take hits and run between the tackles.
No, and he is really starting to assert himself. Over 100 yards on the ground the last 3 games. He's finding his stride, and they're beginning to feed him the football because they know that between he and Coulter, that's their main offense.
He was a wide receiver last year. Here's Mark to the goal line. Touchdown. Venrick Mark with his 10th rushing touchdown. Let's see if he got the ball across before the knee hits the ground. From that angle, hard to tell. Would be his 13th overall touchdown, including the 2 punt returns.
See, he definitely gets the ball over the goal line.
On the field is touchdown. The play is under further review.
He definitely gets the ball over the goal line. The question is that knee down? And I don't know that you could tell from that angle at least that that ball wasn't over before the knee was down.
Be the first opening drive touchdown surrendered by Michigan's defense this year. Kovac's wearing number 11 today instead of his normal 32. That's to honor a former Michigan player. We'll tell you more about that later. He made the tackle. And hard to tell, and it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field. And when you can't see the ball, and Bill Simon's the replay official, that's what he's looking at. Where the ball is, can you see it? And it's hard to even find it there, so it's likely going to stand.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Couldn't confirm it, but not enough video evidence to overturn it. Great start for Northwestern.
Yeah, what a great drive. I mean, to come out the way that they did, the pace of play for Northwestern is going to be an issue for Michigan. They have got to be ready for this pace of play, and throwing the ball with Coulter on the ground, running, and then Mark finishing it off. Very impressive drive from Northwestern.
Bud Zine on for the point after. And over the last 4 games, Northwestern has scored 10 touchdowns in their last 11 red zone possessions. Venrick Mark with his 10th rushing touchdown. And Northwestern on top early in Ann Arbor.
Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Cars.com.
10-play scoring drive by Northwestern, 9 run plays. The one pass was a 19-yard pass by Coulter to Christian Jones on 3rd and 12. It kept the drive alive. And then after that, they just ran it right at Michigan. And a 3-yard touchdown run by Mark to cap it.
Yeah, and a great throw on 3rd down over the linebackers, and an even better catch from Christian Jones. But that's how this offense from Northwestern wants to operate. Mostly on the ground and then convert through the air on 3rd down.
Norfleet will run this one out for Michigan. And he gets hit at the 20 and driven down at the 22. Now, King Coulter has played some receiver. He's played some quarterback. He is a dual threat, passing and running. And he's a big reason why Northwestern is 7-2. And there are only 2 losses against Penn State and Nebraska when they had double-digit leads in the 4th quarter. So that really falls on their defense. Can their defense hold up today against Michigan?
Yeah, and I think their defense is playing better. But I think the move back to Coulter full-time at quarterback was the right move from Pat Fitzgerald.
They go with a one-back set here, and a quick toss to the flat to Gallen, who's pushed out at the 28-yard line. A gain of 6. Daniel Jones on the stop.
Well, if you're Michigan offensively, you came out, you made a couple of plays early on. You didn't convert on that the third down all-out blitz. But now your defense was on the field for 10 plays. You need to put something together here, because really quickly you need to get your defense some time to rest and adjust on the sideline.
Gardner hands it off on the jet sweep, and going nowhere is Justice Hayes. Loss of 7 on the play. Our impact players brought to you by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. Obviously Gardner. How about Taylor Lewan, one of the best left tackles in college football?
Yeah, and this offensive line has not blocked as well as they would like in the running game. I think a little bit more of a downhill power game plays right into Taylor Lewan's hands. And then defensively, we've seen Jake Ryan struggle already in space to bring Payne Coulter to the ground.
Third down and long for Devin Gardner. 2 of 4 passing so far. Well, he's got the arm strength to make that throw. Close to the first down. Gallen on the catch. We'll see where they spot it. And they're going to give him a first down. 11-yard gain.
This is part of the reason why Al Borges is so excited about Devin Gardner. Take a look from the pocket. He's got a rocket arm. There's no question that he can throw the football. And Jeremy Gallen, coming off an ankle injury a week ago, no problem getting in and out of that cut.
How different does the Michigan offense look so far than what you normally see with Denard at quarterback?
We haven't seen any spread. We haven't seen any fly sweeps. We haven't seen any design quarterback runs. And Devin Gardner's under center again. This is completely different.
And 2 tight ends. Play fake. And Gardner was looking downfield, but takes off. He can run, but they have to be careful with him as he gets 4 yards on the play. They want to be careful with Gardner because really their backup is a walk-on. Jack Kennedy, as we look at the difference between the offense with Gardner and Robinson.
Under Denard, it was a spread attack. You had the zone read schemes, and then you had those design quarterback runs to really take advantage of what Denard Robinson does so well. But under Devin Gardner now, more traditional pro sets, you're going to see those downhill runs between the tackles. And then on that last play, we saw play action from the pocket.
On 2nd and 6, the give to Toussaint. And he's up to the 40-yard line, brought down by Quentin Williams. So 3rd down and short coming up.
And when they go play action, you need that running game. You need that physical presence to get the sting in play action. But I thought the last time they tried to throw the ball down the field, Devin Gardner saw it was covered downfield. Don't force it. Play within the system and try to make a play with your feet and get into a manageable 3rd and 3 situation. It was a very good play.
He played 9 games at quarterback last year. There were some packages a year ago where he would play with Denard Robinson at the same time. They shift Vincent Smith out as a receiver, and Gardner looking to take off here and appears to have another first down. Gain of 4, and Wabusi on the stop. You know, the coaches say that not only is he athletic and has a strong arm, but he's incredibly smart. And again, good decision. Didn't force it, took off, got the first down.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Brady Hoke wanting Devin Gardner to err on the side of caution early in this game, especially 3rd down situations. He had a receiver open, but didn't feel confident pulling the trigger. That's okay. You got really good athletic ability. Just go make a first down.
Seen a lot of 2-back for Michigan so far today.
The Brady Hoke style.
7 play to drive. Toussaint on the stretch, nowhere to go. Leveled at the 39-yard line, a 5-yard loss. Let's check in with Reese Davis now in the studio.
Save time for a Taco Bell studio update. You know, the passing of the great Darrell Royal. Texas opened in the wishbone, but they broke the bone. You know, someone once said the wishbone's the greatest passing offense ever invented. I don't think all that trickery was what they had in mind, but David Ash hit Greg Daniels. Texas couldn't pay it off with a score. It's on the Longhorn Network against Iowa State. It's scoreless.
All right, Reese, here's 7-0. Northwestern with a first quarter lead in Ann Arbor. And Michigan faced with a 2nd and 15. Gardner off play action. Again, a long throw, but he's got the arm strength, and Roundtree is free. Roundtree, wearing Desmond Howard's old number, takes it to the 29-yard line before Jared Carpenter gets to him. A 32-yard pass play.
Another play off of play action. This is just a naked one-man route. You see this arm strength, and while that was a little bit outside, Roundtree snatches it out of the air. Roundtree's got the speed to challenge downfield. Remember, this Northwestern defense is playing without one of their starting corners, and Nick Van Hoos. That was Demetrius Dugar, his backup. beaten on the play.
Yeah, Van Hoos has a shoulder injury as there's some movement along the line, but it's offside, so a free play going for Roundtree, and there was interference downfield. How come there's no flag? Oh, Dugar shoved Roundtree, and there's now the flag is thrown, but I still think that's based on the offside because it's thrown back around the 25-yard line. But even though there are 2 flags, I don't think that second flag was for interference based on where it was thrown.
Offside. Defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Now watch here on the pass, unless they thought it was uncatchable, Brian.
Well, first of all, a great job throwing the ball down the field, and there was a little bit of an acting job too. I don't know that that's a definite call there, but a good job from Devin Gardner taking a shot knowing that he had an encroachment penalty.
Thomas Rawls, who got more carries than Toussaint a week ago, is that running back as they go to the end zone again, and this time a flag is thrown for interference. Roundtree and Dugar battling, and Dugar got him. There's also an offside penalty. So back-to-back offsides on Northwestern.
When you find out that there's a team that's going to jump, you're going to continuously give them a hard count. Great job by Al Borges and by Devin Gardner using a hard count and then being able to execute after you know they jump off and taking a shot downfield.
Now he started Dugar the Iowa game. He had missed time with injury.
There were 2 fouls on the play. Offside. Defense, number 88. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Let's take a listen and see if we can hear Devin Gardner. Just a little bit at the line of scrimmage can get those defensive ends, and when you get them, you want to take that shot.
So first down inside the 15-yard line of Northwestern. Again, out of 2 back, and here's Rawls fighting for yardage. Takes it to the 8-yard line. Rawls on the stop, so it'll be second down and goal.
I've been impressed with Northwestern's front 7 so far against the run. Michigan has had no lanes inside or outside running the ball on the ground. This drive has really been all Devin Gardner through the air.
And Northwestern also has, at least statistically, the best pass rusher in the Big Ten. Tyler Scott leads the conference in sacks. 10 play to drive for Michigan, second down and goal. Play fake, and here's Gardner on the rollout. He'll run, dives, hit the pylon. Did he step out first? No, touchdown. He stayed in and then hit the pylon with the ball. It's a touchdown for Michigan. And the first to greet him and congratulate him is Denard Robinson.
This is the element from Devin Gardner that the coaches love. Watch Ibrahim Campbell, number 24. He had leverage, but just the length from Devin Gardner hits the pylon, and that's a touchdown.
Second rushing touchdown for Devin Gardner. An impressive drive running and throwing for the junior quarterback from Detroit. A pair of 10-play drives won by Northwestern, and Michigan with the answer.
And just because Denard Robinson is out of this football game doesn't mean that Michigan's not going to be able to move the football. And he's going to captain on this team. He's going to congratulate his partner. Big answer to Northwestern's touchdown.
There is specific.
ESPN College Football is presented by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard, and in part by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Dave Pasch, Brian Greasy. Brian, of course, a Rose Bowl national championship quarterback. I don't know if you had the ups, though, to hit the Go Blue sign as you came out.
Well, when you're a freshman, you work out so hard that sometimes it's hard to get up to that banner. It hurts.
And the man who's playing the position you did here at Michigan, pretty impressive on that drive. 8-yard touchdown run, identical to Northwestern, 10 plays, 78 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, but kind of the reverse of being through the air. All really Devin Gardner's arms until that last run for the touchdown.
Here's Mark. Past the 20 and up to the 26-yard line. So Michigan, after Northwestern scores on its opening drive, the Wolverines on their second series take it down the field and score with Gardner.
State Farm. College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
BCS Countdown, presented by Vizio, is on ESPN and ESPNU Sunday. A day after the dust settles, our analysts break down the key wins, defeats, and reveal the latest BCS standings. 8:30 Eastern on ESPN, then at 9 on ESPNU. Dave Pasch, Brian Greasy, Jen Brown. Ann Arbor, the big house where Michigan is trying to get to 5-1 and keep pace with Nebraska atop the Legends division. The Cornhuskers play Penn State, 3:30 on ABC or ESPN2. Here's Mark, grabbed at the point of attack and thrown aside by true freshman James Ross III. A gain of about a yard. Michigan has some really good young defensive players.
And Northwestern's going to continue to try to attack the interior of this Michigan defense. But that time the defensive tackles, Campbell, got a good stop.
Coulter to the 30-yard line for 3. Tripped up by Frank Clark. So third down coming up as we're inside 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Well, third down has been a real money down for Kane Coulter, this Northwestern offense. You remember Dan Purser, they were very good on third down. Again this year, they're second in the Big Ten, converting 46% on third downs.
Coulter to the air on 3rd and 6. Look out! Coulter got away from pressure. Still being chased. And now throws downfield, and it's incomplete. But there's a flag, a late hit out of bounds as Coulter was hit after he crossed the sideline, and this will be a first down for the Wildcats.
Well, a mistake by Michigan defensively, and that drives Brady Hoke crazy. They had containment on Kane Coulter, good coverage downfield. Everything's going to be set up for a 4th down punt, and then you have a mistake on the outside.
There is no foul on the play. 4th down.
Well, so Craig Rowe, who was chasing the quarterback, a couple other guys for Michigan were as well, and the officials talked about it. They got it right. They said that it was legal. It was not late.
Take a look at Jordan Kovacs, number 11 here, keeping containment, allowing Jabril Black to come after him, and that I think that's a good call. He was throwing that ball. He was in the line of play.
Just glad they got it right. Officials discussed it. They made the right call. It checks up at the 34. Michigan will have decent field position as we check in with Reese.
Dave, Rutgers back into the BCS standings, but dealing with the top rushing team in the country in Army as we've celebrated Veterans Week on ESPN. Trent Steelman, his 13th rushing touchdown. And Army, Black Knights of the Hudson on top of Rutgers 7-0 early. Louisville and Syracuse. Louisville and Rutgers tied for the Big East lead. They are tied with Syracuse. Louisville, of course, one of 6 teams remaining unbeaten.
Here at 7-7, Reese, just outside a minute remaining here in the opening quarter. And Fitz Toussaint straight ahead to the 37-yard line for 4. Chichi Iraguza on the tackle for Northwestern.
Iraguza has been making some plays early in this game. He's been probably their most consistent player defensively for Pat Fitzgerald. He's got good size at 6'3", 235 pounds. He can rush the passer, put his hand in the ground, but on 1st and 2nd down, he plays that Sam linebacker position and does it well.
Gardner with a short setup on 2nd down, batted to the ground, incomplete. That's the 2nd pass by Gardner that has been knocked down. Like Sean McKevely, Brian Arnfelt, the 2 defensive tackles were in the area of that throw. So 3rd down and 6.
I'm talking with Al Borges, the offensive coordinator for Michigan. He felt like 1st and 2nd down, he could manage the game pretty well for Devin Gardner. It's when you get in these kinds of 3rd and 6th and plus situations where he worries about pressure and the line blocking for Devin Gardner.
Gardner steps up and looks for a running lane. Gardner takes a shot but picks up the 1st down. 9-yard run for Gardner. And a first down for the Wolverines.
These are the kinds of plays that make the offensive coordinator look real smart. You know, and everybody's covered, and then you got a quarterback with this kind of talent and this kind of size. Devin Gardner, remember, he's not a small quarterback. He's 6'4", 205 pounds, and he used all of that weight to get a first down.
Gardner, 4 of 7 passing, 57 yards. He also rushed for 25 yards and a score. And Michigan tied with Northwestern at 7 apiece after 1 quarter of play in Ann Arbor.
College football today. Penn State, Nebraska, and West Virginia, Oklahoma State.
Well, twice Devin Gardner has run for a first down on 3rd down. Took a shot last time, and Brady Hoke probably saying, hey, pal, take it easy there.
Be smart. Be smart. We don't have a whole lot of help behind you.
No, you got Denard Robinson not available because of the elbow. Russell Bellamy, we're told, is day-to-day, but the backup is Jack Kennedy, who is a walk-on wearing a number that someone in our booth thinks should be retired. Although,
why do you say things like that?
I said one person in the booth. I didn't say you. It could have been me I was talking about.
You want my number to be retired?
No.
I didn't think so.
Here's Toussaint on first down. He gets driven to the ground, or minimal gain on the play. McKevely got off a block and brought down Fitzgerald Toussaint.
And if Brady Hoke doesn't want his quarterback to be running the football too much, they've got to be able to run with Toussaint more consistently on 1st and 2nd down. That's who Brady Hoke wants to be. Physical, tough in the middle, running the football. And right now, this offensive line for Michigan is not creating the kind of holes to get consistent run on the ground.
Only 9 yards for Toussaint on 7 carries. He'll get it again, and he'll get a lot more here. Breaks the tackle at the 35. Toussaint fumbled the ball. It's loose inside the 5, and Northwestern's got it. Araguzzo with the fumble recovery. Toussaint got careless with the ball as he got inside the 10, trying to make extra moves and score. And Michigan turns it over inside the 10. It was Jared Carpenter from behind that whacks it out of there. And Araguzzo with a recovery.
You make a big play and get downfield, and when you get downfield, try to make extra. Guys are going to come from behind. Great play by Carpenter. Reminds me of corners that come from behind will get that hand in there. Great hole for Toussaint. You get downfield, and right here, you got to be smart with the football, and Carpenter makes a big play for Northwestern.
From the Northwestern 3. They'll give it to Mark. No running room. Runs right into Kenny Demmons for a 2-yard gain to the 5-yard line. Keep in mind, Northwestern 4th in the country in fumble recovery. So they will come after the football, even downfield. They're 4th in the country in fumble recovery.
I was going to say that play by Carpenter reminds me of Charles Tillman from the Bears. That's what he does. He comes from behind and he pokes at that ball. You get one guy on the defender, and then the next guy that comes, go for the football.
Play action from the end zone. Coulter gets out of there. Coulter across the 10 and out near the 13-yard line. Andre Pipkins on the tackle, a 9-yard gain. Looked like somebody hit the face mask of the quarterback Coulter, but it's no longer a penalty if you just graze it. Didn't seem that the defender grabbed and turned it.
That's an outstanding play by Kane Coulter. Michigan thinks they've got him backed up, that they're going to force a punt, and all of a sudden there's nobody open, and Kane Coulter makes a play with his legs. That's demoralizing for a defense.
At 166 rushing yards in their last game against Iowa 2 weeks ago. Option, and the pitch to Mark. Finds a lane at the 20. The cutback for Mark. And Mark all the way to the 44. This guy's got a 72-yard touchdown run and an 80-yard touchdown run. He goes for 30 there.
Great block by Dan Vitale, the tight end. He's going to get the block on the outside on Jake Ryan, which frees up Venric Mark. And again, what did Greg Madison tell us yesterday? The only thing, the biggest thing that concerned him with his offense was the option.
Coulter on the key. And gang tackled at the 45. He's down. Cam Gordon on the stop for Michigan, a junior from Detroit. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Wildcats.
And unlike Devin Gardner for Michigan running the football. Pat Fitzgerald wants Kane Coulter to run the ball as much as he can because he is electric with the ball in his hands. They'll try to do it in a number of different ways, and so far Michigan has not had an answer.
Got Tim Riley back there, and he'll get the call straight ahead. Second time he's carried it. He's out to the 49-yard line for 4. Desmond Morgan. And we talked about number changes with Jordan Kovacs wearing number 11. Desmond Morgan is wearing number 48. He used to wear 44. He changed it to honor Gerald Ford.
Right.
And that's what several of the Michigan players have done this year, wearing uniforms to honor former players. Kovacs honoring the Wister brothers, Francis, Albert, and Alvin, who played here in Michigan in the 30s and 40s. Albert, 91 years of age, is here at the game today.
Big third down here. The only 2 passes Kane Coulter has had have been on third downs.
Coulter looking to take off, in trouble. He fumbled it, and Michigan recovers. Northwestern turns it over inside the 40. Jabril Black forced the fumble.
Great effort from Jabril Black. He got chopped initially. He was on the ground. Didn't give up on the play. The key's right here. Take a look. So he was the nose guard. He got chopped and then got back up and just got enough of Kane Coulter to force a big turnover.
True freshman Joe Bolden with the fumble recovery. Let's see if the arm's going forward. No, ball definitely came out before the arm went forward. And so Michigan now with a first down inside the Northwestern 40-yard line. Play fake. Gardner setting up. Steps up. Runs. And breaks a tackle. And then gets nailed after a gain of 2 by Demetrius Dugar. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That turnover from Michigan's defense is emblematic of what they've improved on the most, which is effort. And that effort by Jabril Black, those are the kinds of plays that change momentum in games. And that's what Brady Hoke has been preaching for the last 2 years here, and is certainly helping him in this game.
Play action again for Gardner. And an accurate throw to Gallen for the first down. Let's check in with Reese.
All right, Dave, time for SportsCenter right now, presented by Discover Card. Wisconsin wins. They'll clinch a spot in the Big Ten championship game. Kirk Phillips, 5th-year senior, making his first start, throwing a touchdown pass to Sam Arneson. It's 17-0 there. And Texas is on top of Iowa State. This game on the Longhorn Network. David Ash to Mike Davis. 14-0. The Horns have the lead. Ash off to a 6-for-6 start.
Rawls loses yardage here, Reese. A setback of 2. The winner of this game could end up playing Wisconsin for the Big Ten championship. Nebraska and Michigan are tied for the lead. Nebraska won the head-to-head. Northwestern's a game back. The Wildcats also lost to Northwestern, but to Nebraska. There's 3 games left, including today. Big Ten play, so a lot can happen. Although if Nebraska wins today, they got Minnesota and at Iowa.
It won't be easy for them to win against Penn State.
You picked the Nittany Lions, right?
I did. I really like the way that they're playing both offensively, and then that defense is really starting to exert itself.
Play action again for Gardner. Going to the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Roundtree. Couldn't come up with it. Daniel Jones had coverage, so it's 3rd down and 11.
Well, you see Michigan first down. They wanted to run a power run inside. They lose 2 yards because their offensive line is not creating the holes for the backs. And then you have play action, incompletion on 2nd down. And all of a sudden, this promising drive after the turnover is 3rd and 12. Very difficult to convert. You got to be smart with the football here if you're Devin Gardner, because you just get 5 or 6 or 7 yards, you have a field goal attempt.
They do have a pretty good kicker in Brendan Gibbons. As long as 52. Gardner steps up and runs. Makes a beautiful move and picks up the first down. All the way to the 11-yard line. Devin Gardner, we talk about the athletic ability of Denard Robinson, but watch Gardner in this play.
You can see him think about Brady Hoke in his head. Don't run too much today. Well, there's a huge lane and I can do it. Great effort. And you can see the athletic ability and why this coaching staff for Michigan is really excited about the prospect of the next year with Devin Gardner.
Got 17 yards there. 3rd time. that he's run for a first down on 3rd down. And that was 3rd and 11. First down on the 11. Here's Toussaint. Tackled at the 6-yard line. Araguzzo on the stop. They keep feeding Toussaint. Fumbled the ball down here on a long run on the last Michigan drive. Got an injured Northwestern player. It's Araguzzo, one of their best defensive players. Strong side linebacker, sophomore from Ohio.
Well, Michigan's not going to lose confidence in Toussaint. That one fumble, they know that he's the kind of back that's going to consistently give him the best chance on the ground.
Injury timeout. Back to the big house in a moment. After that dramatic comeback win over Pitt, undefeated and 4th-ranked Notre Dame takes on Boston College. ABC Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8. BC has a history of upsetting unbeaten Notre Dame teams. Did it last decade, did it twice in the 90s. We'll see what happens tonight. Notre Dame number 4 in this week's BCS standings. Northwestern's 24th. First time it's been in the BCS top 25 since 2008. Michigan looking to take the lead on this drive. Here's Gardner on 2nd down, and he gets hit hard. It appears to have the first down. Drew Smith replacing Araguzzo, who went out with an injury on the last play. Made the tackle. We'll see where they spot the ball here, whether it's 3rd down and short or 1st and goal.
Yeah, Gardner looks like he came up just short, and he definitely paid for that run. That's the first time in this game where I have seen the spread element from offensive coordinator Al Borges. That was a traditional spread look and the quarterback design run.
3rd down and inches. 8th play of the drive after the Northwestern fumble. Toussaint straight ahead. Did not get into the end zone, but has the first down to the 1-yard line. Sean McEvely was the first man to greet him.
And make no mistake, now here with a first down conversion inside the 2-yard line. This is an opportunity. I know Brady Hoke thinks of these things as opportunities to establish your offensive line. We're going to tell you we're going to run it inside and we're going to convert. That's what he wants to do.
3 tight ends and 2 backs. Toussaint. Oh, he gets hammered at the point of attack. Damian Proby came flying in there and made the hit. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
That was a great play by Proby. He took on the fullback ISO block of Hopkins. Now Hopkins plays a little bit of fullback and a little bit of halfback. That's tough duty on an ISO block against a linebacker in Proby that almost pushes 250 pounds.
They bring Rawls in now for Toussaint. Same formation on 2nd and goal. Here's Rawls. 2nd effort. Touchdown, Michigan. 4th rushing TD for Rawls, and Michigan leads for the first time.
Great 2nd effort from Thomas Rawls. The play was not blocked particularly well. It's just the 2nd effort and cutback from Rawls to get in the end zone.
And Gibbons on for the point after. How about this? We've had 3 10-play scoring drives so far. 14-7 Michigan. Set up by a Northwestern turnover. Fumble by the quarterback, Kane Coulter. Jabril Black forcing the fumble. Recovered by Joe Bolden. And then Rawls in for the touchdown to give the Wolverines a 7-point lead. Obviously, all eyes will be on those top 4 teams in the BCS standings. Oregon playing Cal on ESPN tonight. At Alabama A&M. Brian Griese picked A&M. So did Coach Corso today on game day. And of course, Kansas State. Yeah, touchback, and will come out to the 25. Evaluate Devin Gardner so far.
Well, I think Al Borges is helping him by getting some of these tight ends in to block on the play action. You see here, both tight ends, A.J. Williams and Krakowski, are blocking the edge to take away any threat of a rush on Devin Gardner, and then he's able to step into these plays. This time they keep Funchess in on the naked, allowing Devin Gardner to get the edge, and then his athletic ability takes over. But probably most impressively is on third downs. 3 times they've had third downs where Devin Gardner has used his legs to convert and keep drives alive. Very impressed with the way that he's played early in this game.
Saw a snapshot of him last year coming in for Denard at times. Here's Mark getting the pitch on the short side of the field, knocked out of bounds near the 30 by Brennan Byer, close to 5 yards there. Again, we saw bits and pieces of Gardner a year ago, but just watching him in practice and last week against Minnesota and here today, you get to see the wide variety of skill set.
Absolutely, and he was a very highly recruited quarterback coming out of Inkster in Michigan, and I think, you know, this is what they saw in him early on, is the ability to keep his cool, throw from the pocket, and make plays with his feet.
Coulter in trouble. He'll run. And Coulter gets the first down. Dives to the 37-yard line. Kenny Demmons and Raymond Taylor on the stop. Coulter, like Gardner, pretty good vision and wise. That was a good move.
Absolutely. I mean, both of these quarterbacks, this is a hard game to play defense against these kinds of quarterbacks that can throw the ball from the pocket, but then also when there's not a play, they can make it with their feet.
Here's the option, and Mark getting the pitch. Gets chased down by true freshman James Ross for a gain of 2. We'll check in with Jen.
Thanks, Dave. Well, before this offensive series, Pat Fitzgerald came over and talked to his offensive line to get him pumped up. A couple of the guys said, Coach, it's loud in here. He said, look, I told you it was going to be loud. You need to play to your level. You need to set the tone. Looks like they're getting the message here. We'll see if they can keep it going.
They won here their last game at Michigan Stadium, but really none of these guys were on the team. It was 2008, the last time Northwestern played at the Big House.
I don't think Pat Fitzgerald wants to hear many more excuses from his offensive line on the sideline.
Northwestern hasn't won back-to-back games at Michigan Stadium since the 30s. Coulter faking the pitch, dragged down at the 40. A minimal gain there.
And the fundamentals of this Northwestern offense have changed. With Trevor Siemian, they love to throw the ball. Now take a look. 21 rushes to only 2 passes from Kane Coulter. And so far in this game, it's been working. But can they do it consistently?
Yeah, Coulter has not thrown more than 10 passes in any of his last 6 games. 3rd down and 7.
This is where he likes to throw the ball.
He runs and gets brought down at the 41-yard line by Kenny Demmons. Only got a yard there. And Northwestern will have to punt. 30th straight start for Kenny Demmons at middle linebacker for Michigan.
And take a look. Kovacs comes on a blitz, and great job by Demmons, knowing his responsibility. When Greg Madison calls up the blitz, you've got to have guys in their gaps and be responsible. Kenny Demmons, very nice play.
Brandon Williams will boot it away. And a poor kick, but it takes a big Northwestern bounce. And the Wildcats will pin Michigan inside the 10 at the 6. 53-yard punt, about 25 yards after the first bounce.
My gift was a NASCAR chase for the Sprint Cup at Phoenix tomorrow at 2 on ESPN.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Internet Explorer. Welcome to a more beautiful web. And LG, life's good.
Honoring our men and women who serve our country faithfully. Veterans Week, ESPN joining the USO to give to the USO Wish Book. Send gifts that'll lift the spirits of our troops and their families. You can team up with ESPN and the USO. Go to uso.org. ESPN and select a gift such as a family fun day or free phone cards to give to our troops and families. The USO Wish Book is a way to let our heroes and their families know we support them. And the basketball game last night on the military base in Germany as Connecticut beat Michigan State. USS San Diego decided game day today. Gardner out of his end zone, throwing to Gallen. And he's close to a first down. It's his 5th catch already. Well, Northwestern earlier in the summer got involved with some Navy SEALs. 3 members of that elite unit met with the Wildcats, took them through some team building. The toughest thing was getting all 110 guys on the same page. They had push-ups and running in the sand and through the water. They had to dump sand on themselves. Everybody had to get completely covered in sand, and if all 110 guys didn't do it right, they had to do it again.
They did it several times, I'm sure.
Here's Toussaint, and brought down to the line of scrimmage as Campbell, the strong safety, comes down and makes the play. 1-yard gain.
And that's one of the things that impresses me most about Pat Fitzgerald is his ability to motivate his team, use creative ways to motivate his team. In my opinion, he's one of the best coaches in all of college football. And there's just something special about a player that plays at a school and then comes back to his alma mater and becomes the head coach. And Pat Fitzgerald and Northwestern has been a wonderful marriage.
Well, Brady Hoke telling us yesterday how much respect he has for Pat. Gardner in trouble and just throws it in the dirt. Harnfelt with pressure, so 3rd down and 9. Northwestern has all of its timeouts left. Would love to get a stop here, force a punt, and get decent field position. But Michigan has converted its last 5 third downs, including some 3rd and long plays.
Well, and they've used the legs of Devin Gardner. Here comes another 3rd and 9. And if you're Northwestern, you've been covering these routes very well. The thing you need to do differently is get Devin Gardner on the ground.
Gardner rolling to his left, gets hammered as he releases the pass, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. Intended for Roundtree. Gardner took a shot there, rolling left, but hops to his feet.
This throw right on the money. It would have been a difficult catch for Roundtree, but at what expense? Devin Gardner takes a big hit there. And those are the kinds of hits that Brady Hoke does not want to see. David Wabusi coming through and getting a hit. I've been impressed with the toughness, though, of Devin Gardner to take that kind of hit and deliver a ball on target.
Now watch out here if you're Michigan. Venrick Mark with 2 punt returns for touchdowns, and they kick it right at him, a line drive. Mark at the 40. And good coverage downfield. Mark brought down just short of the 45-yard line by Brandon Hawthorne. Today at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, ABC and ESPN2 with 2 college football games for you. Penn State, Nebraska. With the Cornhuskers tied with Michigan right now atop the Legends division, and they beat the Wolverines. You also have West Virginia and Oklahoma State. Check your local listings to see which channel will cover your game. No Denard Robinson, Devin Gardner getting the 2nd straight start at quarterback. He's thrown for 76 yards. And he's run for 48 and a touchdown. Northwestern bringing Trevor Siemian into the game for the first time at quarterback. He and Coulter in some games this year have split duties at that position. And Siemian will throw on 1st down, and a dangerous pass, but it was pulled in by true freshman Dan Vitale, the tight end, his 11th catch. Gain of 6.
I think you see Siemian in because of this being the 2-minute drill, and they're going to be throwing the ball exclusively.
Thrown 4 touchdown passes this year. Only had 1 pass attempt, though, in their last game 2 weeks ago against Iowa.
Completed pass. The play is under further review.
They're going to look and see if this one hit the ground. Siemian, a sophomore. He started against Indiana, threw for over 300 yards. Again, ruling in the field is a catch. You saw the ball there come out. Did it hit the ground, though, or did Vitale maintain possession?
The ball came in. When he rolls over, does he have possession? And again, the ruling on the field was a completed catch. And difficult to see indisputable video evidence to overturn that.
That was the first pass play on 1st down today for Northwestern. They've only thrown the ball 3 times out of 25 plays.
And it's because it's a 2-minute drill. If it wasn't a 2-minute drill, it probably wouldn't be a pass. But that's who they are now. And I think they tried with Trevor Siemian earlier in the year. And what Pat Fitzgerald told us is the move back to Kane Coulter was a result of consistency. Trevor just couldn't consistently do what they needed to do.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. 2nd down.
So again, not enough evidence to overturn the ruling of the field. That's why the on-field ruling, replay's great, but the on-field ruling is so important. That's why you have to get it right down on the field and not leave it in the hands of the replay booth. Second down and 3. Simeon with time, but everybody covered, so Simeon will run and dives for the first down to the 44. Approaching a minute to go. Clock stops as they reset the chains. Northwestern with all of its timeouts left. Clock restarted on the ready for play, and Simeon with a long throw. Christian Jones on the catch, but doesn't get much, and he's kept in bounds, so Northwestern will use a timeout. Courtney Avery on the stop. And Northwestern has 2 timeouts remaining. 14-7, Michigan with the lead, but Northwestern driving. A minute left till halftime. How about the Cuse?
The Cuse as an Orange alum, how does that make you feel?
Still got a ways to go in that one, Chris. 2nd and 6 for Northwestern. Coulter going deep down the sideline, one-on-one coverage, but Tony Jones can't pull it in. Oh, the pass was there. J.T. Floyd with coverage, the throw on the money.
Wow, Tony Jones is their speed receiver on the outside. That ball thrown perfectly from Trevor Simeon. Tony Jones normally makes that. Surprised he didn't lay out earlier.
Do you think this right here, Floyd contacting the left arm, distracted him a bit?
I don't think so. I mean, that's you practice that every day on the practice field. You got to come up with that one.
That's 3rd down, and Northwestern in danger of giving the ball back to Michigan with time. Wide open, though, in the middle of the field is Christian Jones. A first down to the 19-yard line, a 21-yard gain. Clock running, 45 and counting. Northwestern with 2 timeouts left. Down 7 points here at the end of the 2nd quarter. And Simeon throwing strikes on this drive. Coming in cold off the bench. Simeon again. What a beautiful throw! Touchdown! Oh, what a pass! And Cameron Dickerson with his first touchdown. Back shoulder, Trevor Simeon on the money.
Raymond Taylor, the corner, was there. Just did not make the adjustment fast enough, and Dickerson looked like he came down inbounds. But you said it, Trevor Simeon. I don't know if you understand how hard it is to come off the bench cold like that in a 2-minute drill, and everybody knows you're going to pass the ball. To come in and throw those kinds of passes, all of which were right on the money.
How about the redshirt freshman, too, adjusting, knowing that's a back shoulder throw as the extra point is good. That's only his 8th catch, his first collegiate touchdown. He's barely played today. And he comes up with a catch of the half.
Well, the key is looking back for the football, and Simeon sees that the corner plays over the top. He's aiming for the pylon. That ball would have hit the pylon if Dickerson wasn't there, and then he just trusts that once Dickerson gets upfield and gets his eyes back, now he's got to adjust to the ball, and when the corner doesn't look for it, the receiver has the advantage.
Simeon 4 of 5 on that drive. 3 different receivers, and Pat Fitzgerald loving it. Tony Jones dropped what might have been a touchdown, but that didn't frustrate Simeon. Yeah. He stayed positive and made the throw.
Well, how nice is it for Pat Fitzgerald to be able to have his reliable starter being Kane Coulter running one kind of offense, and then when he needs to get a spark in a 2-minute drill, he calls in the right-hander, and he comes in, he throws the ball all over the lot. That's very difficult to defend if you're Michigan defensively. 2 very different styles of offense.
And again, just the communication with the receiver too. When you're not used to it, you haven't been in the game. And we've got a stoppage of play here. A timeout was called by Northwestern on the kick.
Northwestern, they're second. 30 seconds in length.
It's rare that you see a timeout called just before kickoff unless he didn't like how they were lined up or he saw something the way Michigan was lined up. Maybe he was going to squib or pooch and now is changing his mind. Let's take a look at this week's BCS standings brought to you by Vizio. Alabama, A&M, you're picking A&M. Do you see Kansas State having any trouble at TCU?
You know, I don't, and I think even if they don't have their quarterback in Colin Klein, I think Kansas State wins that game because of defense. I mean, their defense has played so well. They've stopped great offenses before, like Oklahoma and West Virginia, Texas Tech. They've got too much firepower for TCU.
Notre Dame, BC on ABC. If Georgia beats Auburn, Georgia wins the SEC East. If Georgia loses, then Florida wins the SEC East.
I went out on a limb with the A&M pick. You know, everybody's taking Alabama. I just think there's a little something to Johnny Manziel.
One of the Upmen taking it to the 30-yard line. It's Dilio, and he's to the 35. 18 seconds remaining in the half. We'll see what Michigan does. They do have timeouts. And they got a kicker who's got a strong leg. Surprised that Northwestern didn't kick it deep there. Wildcats trail Michigan and Nebraska by a game in the Legends division. Nebraska beat both teams. Plays Penn State today in Lincoln. That's on ABC or ESPN2 at 3:30. How about Michigan State, one of the more disappointing teams in college football this year?
Yeah, I mean, I thought at the beginning of the season they were my favorites to win the Big Ten outright. And they just have not gotten the production on offense, haven't found any kind of identity, and they've really put their defense behind the bind.
Gardner out of the shotgun here. Looking downfield. And the throw nearly caught, but incomplete. Jeremy Jackson, the intended receiver. 10 seconds remaining in the half. Jared Carpenter with coverage for Northwestern.
This is a little bit of a different approach historically from a Michigan team. Normally in this situation they would sit on the ball, kneel on the ball, go in at halftime in a tie ball game. But Brady Hoke showing a little bit of aggressiveness. I like it.
So you're saying when you were playing, you were taking a knee?
Well, you know, Lloyd Carr didn't let me do this in this situation. I know that.
Stop messing with your coach. You guys are buddies. Lloyd's watching the game, and you guys got to see each other, spend some time together last night. Lloyd did a great job here. He was the reason you guys won the national title in 1997.
He was a big reason.
That's the end of the first half. Michigan and Northwestern tied at 14. Impressive final drive by Northwestern, and Devin Gardner only one of his last 5. He finished with 76 passing yards, 48 rushing yards, and a touchdown on the ground. And Northwestern will have the football to start the second half. You ever get any fights going into the tunnel with the other team?
As a quarterback, no. You try not to confront anybody.
One of the unique things about the Big House, both teams going into the tunnel together at halftime and postgame. Here's Jen.
Thanks, guys. Coach, what do you think about the play of Devin Gardner so far?
Well, I think he's playing fine. I think two good teams playing hard.
Now, being down a quarterback, he's taken some hard hits out there. How much does that concern you?
Well, we don't like anybody to get hard hit. I mean, running backs, quarterbacks, offensive tackles, we just got to make sure he's being smart and doing a good job.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Dave?
Pretty stock answers there.
He just likes to do the hard hitting.
We're tied at 14. Time now for the Lexus halftime report. To the studio and Reese Davis.
Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Cars.com.
Here's Mark to the goal line. Touchdown. He'll run, dives. Going to take off, in trouble. He fumbled it. Simeon again. What a beautiful throw. Touchdown. Welcome back to coverage of college football presented by Cars.com on ESPN and ESPN 3D. Michigan and Northwestern tied at 14 as we get ready to start the third quarter here at the Big House. With Brian Greasy, I'm Dave Pash. Let's talk about Devin Gardner. Second straight started quarterback, under 50% completion rate, but made some good decisions and had a rushing touchdown.
Well, we knew that he had athletic ability and we knew he could throw the football, but there's been some things that he's done that really show that he's maturing in the quarterback position. Right here, this is a running play, and he identifies the 7th man in the box and the 8th man in the box. So he throws it out to the outside, gets a gain of 8 on first down. Very veteran move. Here you're going to see downfield. He wants to get the ball to Funchess, but identifies that there's a safety that potentially is going to give me a problem, so I'm going to pull it down and get a conversion on 3rd down. Then the last part is anticipation from a quarterback. Watch on the out route. He sees an off corner who's soft and then throws the ball on time and accurate to Jeremy Gallen. The anticipation and the accountability that Devin Gardner has shown in this first half, orchestrating this offense, is what has been the most impressive thing to me.
If you're just joining us, Denard Robinson out with that nerve injury in his throwing elbow. And he's day-to-day. And it goes through the end zone and out. It'll come out to the 25 for the Wildcats. Jen Brown talked with Pat Fitzgerald at the half.
That's right, Dave. He told me, look, if we could just get off the field on 3rd down and tackle, we'd be in a much better position now. And that's what he stressed with his team at the half. He told them, look, that hitch route is not going to beat us. If we play our position, we can tackle, get off that field. We're going to be in a much better position. It should be another exciting 30 minutes of football.
Yeah, Michigan was 5 of 7 on 3rd down. A lot of those conversions on scrambles by Gardner. The Northwestern quarterback, Kane Coulter, had a pretty good half running the football, but it was Trevor Siemian in the 2-minute throwing the ball and leading him down to the touchdown as Coulter takes off and gets good yardage here on first down. Picks up 8. Will Campbell downfield makes the stop.
And I think what Pat Fitzgerald said could be applied to either team, because both of these quarterbacks, with their mobility, they're going to make plays with their feet, and whichever defense can tackle better in space would have a really good shot at winning this football game.
Northwestern trails Michigan and Nebraska by a game for the top spot in the Legends division. Coulter, first down and out to the 44-yard line. 11-yard gain. Kovacs makes the tackle. Consecutive run plays to start the half for Coulter.
One of the things Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, said was he's worried about the cutback run with Coulter. He's got great vision, and when they get on the edge and the perimeter and you try to get to the edge as a defense and account for his speed, he's very good at seeing those cutback lanes and making you pay.
Only thrown 2 passes, and he's run the ball 11 times. He'll pitch it here to Trumpy, who gets nailed short of the line of scrimmage by Jordan Kovacs. A loss on the play.
Great play by Kovacs. Been physical all year. Plays off the block of Vitale. Gets to the edge, and a nice conversion. Kovacs is the leader of this defense for Michigan.
His 4th tackle for a loss on the season.
Make out Worcester proud with that tackle.
Yeah, wearing his number 11, and has the option to wear that for the rest of the season. Normally wears 32. Play fake, and Coulter throwing. Leaping attempt, and it's broken up. It was Kovacs covering Christian Jones. So now it's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, again, Kovacs this time in coverage. They asked him to play man-to-man. Not something he is normally in a position to do, but he was all over the receiver there.
Northwestern in the first half, 2 of 5 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 12. They converted on 3rd and 12 on their opening drive, in which they scored a touchdown, the first to do so on Michigan this year on their opening possession. Michigan showing blitz. Here they come. Coulter steps up, eludes 2 tacklers, running around, has an open man, it's complete. First down at the 45-yard line. Trumpy juggled it, but then secured it for the first down.
Michigan had a perfect blitz on Kovacs, comes free, just not able to get him on the ground. Tremendous athletic ability from Coulter, and these are the kinds of things, the reason why Pat Fitzgerald plays Kane Coulter at the quarterback position and not Trevor Siemian.
Into Michigan territory on the 45-yard line. Fenric Mark back in the game at tailback. We've seen Tim Riley, who's at fullback, get it often in this situation, and he does here. And again, Riley able to power forward for 5 yards. You know, Pat Fitzgerald, you talked about it in the first half, the type of coach he is. He knows the blueprint for recruiting for Northwestern players, and he gets the right guys that fit his system. And year after year, they're in contention for a bowl, but haven't won one since the 40s. Mark outside, able to stay in bounds and close to the first down. Cam Gordon on the stop. 3rd down and 1 coming up.
Looks like Mark, he may have taken a hit. He doesn't look, looks like he may have lost his wind or something. Such a dynamic player in so many phases for Northwestern, and Pat Fitzgerald just wants to check and make sure that his star is okay.
8th play of the drive. 3rd down and 1. They're going to measure. Tyrus Jones will replace Venrick Mark. Let's see if we can figure out how Mark was injured. As on the sideline, he elected to stay in bounds instead of going out, which he could have, but we talked about his fearlessness in the first half at 170 pounds.
When you play for a tough coach like Pat Fitzgerald, there's no just going out of bounds. You're going to fight for every inch.
And again, just short. Let's look here if we can see the injury.
Oh, it looks like he may have taken a knee to the ribs. Take a look at the left knee coming down on Venrick Mark. That's Cam Gordon. Hopefully nothing serious.
3rd down and short. 8th play of the drive for Northwestern. Tyrus Jones is in the game at tailback for the Wildcats. From here, it would be about a 52-yard field goal. Jeff Budzine missed a 53-yarder in their loss to Nebraska. His long is 44. Jones into the pile and appears to have the first down. Desmond Morgan, the initial hitter, would move the sticks for the Wildcats as they convert again on 3rd down on this drive.
That's a big conversion. Impressive up front for Northwestern. This is an offensive line that on the left side is very senior. 93 starts combined between the center to left tackle. A lot of experience, and that time a big conversion.
Very similar to the opening drive in which Northwestern marched down the field and scored. Coulter with the late pitch, and Mark, who's back on the field, hangs onto the ball as he takes a shot from Morgan and is close to another first down. He's got it, an 11-yard gain.
You can see it's played well by Cam Gordon on the outside. It's just nobody for the pitch man, and Morgan doesn't have the kind of speed to keep up with Venrick Mark, and another conversion for a first down.
And Mark to the sideline again, trying to fight off an injury. Got 75 yards on the ground. Northwestern is inside the Michigan 25. They led 7-0. Then Michigan went up 14-7. Northwestern tied it at the end of the half. Coulter to throw. Going end zone. Got a man. Easy touchdown. Dan Vitale, the true freshman, a 23-yard score.
Impressive opening drive from Northwestern. They make their hay on the ground with the option game, and then they choose their spots to throw the ball with Kane Coulter. Michigan made an adjustment to stop the option with a 3-deep defense, and Cam Gordon just let Vitale go right by him.
And Budzine makes it 21-14 Northwestern.
You're going to see a 3-deep defense to contain the perimeter, and Vitale just runs right by Cam Gordon to take a 7-point lead.
Kate.
Welcome back to Ann Arbor. Let's take a look at this last touchdown. To account for the quarterback, Michigan wanted to get 7 guys in the box, and what that did was leaves Cam Gordon one-on-one with Vitale on the outside, and Gordon just has a bust in coverage in man-to-man. He's got to run with Vitale, and this is an easy throw for Kane Coulter. The adjustment by Michigan to play man-to-man against this option attack. You've got to have accountable players on the back end that know who they have in coverage, and Cam Gordon missed it.
The big play on that drive was Coulter scrambling and finding Trumpy for 13 yards. It was 3rd and 12. Coulter got away from a few would-be tacklers and found an open Trumpy. Norfleet is the deep man as Flaherty kicks it off. Norfleet straddling the goal line. Finds a seam at the 20, but the hole closes at the 25. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. 3 times in Northwestern history, the Wildcats have beaten Michigan in consecutive games. When was the last time?
Ugh, I don't like that question.
Why, does it involve you?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys just seem to be doing this to me on a consistent basis with these Aflac questions.
You're noticing a trend.
We're going to have to do an audit of the question before the game.
Here's Toussaint, who other than that 50-yard run after he fumbled after a 50-yard run in that first half, didn't do much on the ground. Proby gets him there for no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
I think one of the big things Michigan needs to do in the second half is get this offensive line getting off the football. They have not been able to run the ball consistently, and Toussaint is now having to run to the perimeter where they want to run him downhill, but there's just been no push from this offensive line.
50 yards on the one run, otherwise 15 yards on 11 carries. Play action here for Gardner. Steps up and gets nailed as he throws high and almost picked off at midfield. Daniel Jones had a shot at it, and again Gardner takes a hit as he releases the pass, and it sailed.
It's the first mistake forced from Devin Gardner right here. You just got to eat the football. You don't want to throw late over the middle. That should have been intercepted, and then you take a big hit on the back end to add insult to injury. Put yourself in vulnerable situations, and Arnfeld makes him feel it.
I'll tell you, if Daniel Jones doesn't tip that, it's picked off.
Yes.
Because there was a man behind him. 3rd down and 10. Little half roll for Gardner. Being chased from behind. Doesn't see him. And down goes Gardner at the 23. Deontay Gibson tracks him down for the first sack of Devin Gardner today.
Give credit to Northwestern defense making adjustments, trying to get some pressure. Look at the effort by Gibson. Had to run a long ways to get to Devin Gardner, but playing a little man-to-man coverage, not giving the easy throw on the outside to Devin Gardner, forcing him to read. Comes up with another big sack.
They have kicked it every time at Ben Remark. They'll do it again. He's got 2 returns for touchdowns this year. Makes the first man miss. And good job along the sideline, though, to get him out of bounds short of the 30-yard line by Thomas Gordon. First 3 and out for Michigan today. And Wildcats have the ball with a 7-point lead when we come back.
I may have retired.
3 times in Northwestern history they've knocked off Michigan in consecutive games. Brian, when was the last time?
Yeah, Pat Fitzgerald was a big part of those in 1995, I think it was.
Yeah, 1995, 96. You know, I think we have the video actually from those games.
Oh, it's a big surprise here.
There's Greasy under center. Goes back to throw. Doesn't see Fitzgerald. Look out.
Boy.
And the hard hit. Here it is again. Now, I'm curious, does he say to you, I got you? Or does he say,
watch him
Brian, let me help you up here?
Yeah, no, does he help me up? No, he doesn't help me up. He just gives the fist. And I think he has that picture in his office at Northwestern of him over top of me. But I tell you what, Pat Fitzgerald was an awesome player that you knew when you looked across that line of scrimmage inside of his face mask and you saw those eyes that he was going to come to play for 60 minutes.
2-time National Defensive Player of the Year at Northwestern. Play fake and Coulter rolling out, dumps it off. Tim Riley with the first down out near the 45-yard line. You know, in fact, the last time we had Northwestern, we were at Penn State. It was a great atmosphere. You were down there talking to Fitz.
Yeah.
What did he say to you?
Well, I asked him, you know, on days like this, when we're down there on the field, do you want to go at it one more time? And he said, you know, I would love to do it, but we'd probably both be one-hit wonders.
I thought he said something like, I would love to go back out there and knock you out again.
Well, that too, yeah, but I didn't want to relay that part.
Here's Mark. Able to get the corner, but only a gain of a couple as he's pushed out by J.T. Floyd. Northwestern 3 scoring drives. First drive of the game, last drive of the half, and first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and the first drive of this second half was impressive. And now you see that Kane Coulter is starting to feel a little more comfortable with him opening it up and throwing the football on first down. It's there for them to convert on any first down they want.
Here's 2nd and 7. A swing pass that's high but caught by Tony Jones. And Jones dives close to the first down in Michigan territory at the 46-yard line. Hard to tell if that was a forwards or a backwards pass, but a good catch by Tony Jones. It is ruled a forward pass, and it is a first down. Big play.
It's a big drive here for Northwestern. If they can put back-to-back scoring drives on the board to start the second half, go a long way in determining the outcome.
There's the option. Coulter will keep, and down at the 42-yard line. Let's check in with Reese.
Dave, Florida has finished the SEC portion of its schedule against Louisiana Lafayette. Jeff Driscoll to Trey Burton. That was the Gators' only touchdown in the first half. Third quarter's about to start. Number 6 Florida only up 10-3 on Lafayette.
You know, Reese, we had Florida last week. They struggled offensively against Missouri and won by a touchdown. Meanwhile, Missouri getting it handed to him by Tennessee. Here's Mark on the inside run. Oh, he gets planted at the 36-yard line, but after a great spin, Jake Ryan with the tackle.
This is a wicked play. I mean, you try to defend the perimeter, then you hand the ball back to Venrick Mark. Look at the hole on the inside. That is a wicked play and a wicked adjustment from Northwestern to defenses that like to play over the top. As soon as you think you're going to get out there on the option, they hit you back up inside with Mark.
3rd and 2. Coulter pitching. First down. Venrick Mark off the left side to the 32-yard line, a gain of 4. Kenny Demons on the stop. Coulter just before contact gets rid of the pitch.
Yeah, Ryan had the quarterback, and then they had 3 lead blockers for the halfback. And right now, Northwestern is just a step ahead of the Michigan defense from an adjustment standpoint relative to how this option's working.
7th play of the drive coming up. They got Trumpy in the game. 8th first down this quarter for Northwestern. Play action. Coulter setting up. Oh, man, was wide open, but he underthrew. Tony Jones incomplete.
Tony Jones was wide open on the curl, and that ball just came out a little squirrely. Sometimes you have a flyer. Sometimes it doesn't come out the way you want it to. It's not always perfect, but
not weather related. There's no rain. It's warm here. Temperature about 60 degrees.
Sometimes you just need a mulligan as a quarterback.
As far as we know, the footballs are fully inflated. I thought you'd have more on that one. 2nd and 10. Inside run. And the tally. 3 yards. So that'll bring up 3rd down and long. Andre Pipkins, a true freshman, on the tackle.
Well, that's why we see Northwestern run the ball so much on first down, because when you have an incompletion on first down, it puts you behind the sticks. And now you're in a 3rd and 8 situation where you got to throw the ball.
Michigan, the #1 pass defense in college football statistically. Can they make a play here on 3rd and 8?
Like they're bringing some blitz right here.
They'll run the ball. Trumpy, first down and more. Tripped up at the 11-yard line by Thomas Gordon. How about the play call to run the option on 3rd and long, and they get 19.
Well, I don't think it was called initially. I think they audible to it. A great audible from Mick McCall, offensive coordinator. When you get that blitz to the strong side and you run the option into it, if one guy's out of place or out of their gap, it can be a big play. Great execution by the offense. And Kane Coulter, great play call by Mick McCall.
Oh, first down and goal for Northwestern. Coulter, oh, had a man wide open, but Mark couldn't get the ball. Might have been tipped at the line. You talked about Mick McCall, 5th year as the offensive coordinator for Northwestern. And a lot of people wondering why this guy hasn't gotten a shot at a head coaching job, given his work with the Northwestern quarterbacks the last handful of seasons.
I'm certainly wondering why, and I think more and more people are starting to see that Mick McCall is an outstanding offensive corner. He's done it a number of different ways. It was a passing offense with Mike Kafka and Dan Persa, and now it's a run-based offense. Either way, this Northwestern offense has always been productive.
Here's Mark trying to get outside, in trouble, and gets pinballed to the 8-yard line. Another third down coming up, 3rd and goal. Huge play coming up here for the Michigan defense. Try to force a field goal and not get down 14 points. But Northwestern has converted his last 5 third downs, and they're doing it multiple ways on 3rd and long, through the air and also on the option running the ball.
Yeah, and I think if you're Greg Madison, you got burned in 3rd and 7 with the option on a blitz. I don't think he blitzes anybody here. I think you play defense and you just get the ball carrier on the ground before they get to the end zone.
Play 12 of the drive, 3rd and goal. Coulter in trouble. And down he goes at the 18-yard line. Sacked by Byer. The second sack of the day. Boy, it was close to a face mask, but no penalty flag was thrown on the play. Let's see if this was a clean tackle by Byer.
Yeah, Byer just comes off the edge with a bull rush, and yeah, he had the shoulder pad. That was a clean play. Good effort by Byer. And then Craig Rowe comes from the other side and cleans it up.
So now Bud Zine, who's only missed 1 field goal all year, puts it through. He's now 12 of 13 on the season, and Northwestern takes a 10-point lead on Michigan. But a big stop by the defense on 3rd down for the Wolverines.
Michigan avoids 2 back-to-back touchdown drives, but they give up 10 points early in the second half.
The State Farm Champion.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the experienced Buick Lease. It's a new lease on luxury. And Vizio, welcome to the PC, reimagined.
Now some great 3D shots. That was the key fumble by Coulter that led to a Michigan touchdown. But right now, Northwestern in command, leading by 10. Although a big stop by Michigan, the Wildcats had a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line and had to settle for a field goal. Inside 4 to play here in the 3rd, 24-14. Only 1 game separates Northwestern from Michigan and Nebraska for the lead in the Legends division. Looks like Wisconsin is going to advance to the Big Ten championship game, beating Indiana right now on ESPN2. Norfleet brings it out. Gets met at the 20 and stuck at the 22. But the chase continues in Phoenix as Brad Keselowski, hot on the heels of 5-time champ Jimmy Johnson, with just 2 races left. The championship and NASCAR history are on the line. The NASCAR chase for the Sprint Cup at Phoenix tomorrow at 2 Eastern on ESPN. Kyle Busch on the pole. Danica Patrick makes her 10th and final Cup start of the season at Phoenix tomorrow. Devin Gardner, 6 of 14 passing, 76 yards. Michigan's only run 3 plays here in the 3rd quarter. From the Wolverine 22. Play fake for Gardner. Looking downfield. Long throw into double coverage, and it's knocked down. Roundtree the intended receiver, but Jared Carpenter, who's played a terrific game, makes the play in the secondary with the pass breakup.
Well, you said it. It's a long throw. You had naked action away from that, throwing back to the other side, and that just gives Carpenter an opportunity to close the gap on Roundtree, and it's a dangerous throw to boot.
He's got a forced fumble, too. Carpenter caused a turnover in the first half. Gardner's missed his last 5 passes. Now 6 of 15 through the air, replacing the injured Denard Robinson in the starting lineup. Penalty flag down, probably for a hold. Toussaint gets maybe 3. Dugar wraps him up. Michigan has not been penalized in this game.
Personal foul, shot block, offense number 52. Half the distance to the goal line. Still 2nd down.
Let's go to the studio. Here's Reese Davis.
Dave, time for a live look-in powered by PlayStation Vita. Many see it on ABC. Syracuse destroying Louisville. It's 38-13. They're 9 of 12 on 3rd down. Syracuse just got a touchdown from Jerome Smith. Not a good day for the Big East, Rutgers and Army. Army still giving Scarlet Knights a fight.
Break up the Cuse. Still a long way to go on that one, Brian.
Oh, no. You're still
2nd and 21. Here's a middle screen to Vincent Smith for a gain of 3, close to the 15-yard line.
You still don't have confidence? 38 to what, 10?
38-13.
Oh, okay. Jesus.
3rd down and 17 coming up at chop block big.
I tell you who's lost confidence is this Michigan offense. They have not been able to do anything here in the second half, and they've gone in the wrong direction. And this is where you start to think about leadership. Who's going to light the fire under this offense when your leader, Denard Robinson, and your captain's on the sideline?
Gardner half roll here on 3rd and 17. Looking, now airing it out. Roundtree beat his man. Penalty flag down. It's incomplete. Dugar interfered. The pass was underthrown, and so therefore the penalty. It'll be a 1st down for Michigan.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 22. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
It's a great play call on 3rd and long because you get down, and if you don't make the catch, you get an opportunity for a cheap 1st down and a pass interference. Clearly, Dugar's looking back for the ball and just runs into Roundtree. And it ends in a 1st down for Michigan.
And Gardner will take it. Fresh set of downs, and they get out to the 30-yard line.
They needed something positive. It was going the wrong direction for them on offense, and maybe that could light a spark.
Gardner to the air again. Pumps, looking deep again. Going for Gallen. And Gallen able to hang on despite getting drilled by Campbell. It's a 42-yard catch for Jeremy Gallen. Good throw.
What a great route by Gallen. This ball is thrown late. That's why the safety gets over to make the play. That's a very difficult play for Gallen to make. You can see that Devin Gardner holds the ball too long, and that allows Campbell to get over, but Gallen just makes a fantastic catch in traffic.
So the penalty keeps the drive alive for Michigan, and they make a big play. 42 yards. They're inside the 30. Gardner throwing again. Dumps it off. Toussaint keeps his feet alive. Stays in bounds. He'll score. Touchdown, Michigan. That pass interference call on 3rd and 17 huge. Gives Michigan the automatic 1st. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone. First touchdown pass of the day for Gardner.
Well, you ask who's going to step up in the leadership role. That drive, it's 2 juniors, Jeremy Gallen and Fitz Toussaint, make great plays to get Michigan in the end zone.
24-21. Michigan within 3.
Great adjustment on the screen. Just dumped it to him over the middle. Haven't seen that all game, and then 3 missed tackles from the Northwestern defense. An opportunity to get Fitz Toussaint out of bounds and tippy-toe down the sideline for 6.
You talked, Brian, about somebody stepping up in the leadership role without Denard Robinson, and it was Jeremy Gallen making that catch, taking that huge hit, but hanging onto the ball that set up this touchdown. Great balance by Toussaint to stay in. A 28-yard touchdown pass by Devin Gardner, his 3rd of the year and 1st of the day. He's also got a rushing score for the Wolverines.
Confidence is such a fragile thing with young players, and Devin Gardner is so green at the quarterback position that anything positive that happens on the field is just going to build more confidence in him, and most importantly, build more confidence in his teammates around him, that when the chips are down, they can make the plays to get back in the game.
Matt Weil kicking off. Benrick Mark from the 1. Mark ran into a teammate, and down he goes at the 21-yard line. Watch the undefeated Notre Dame Fighting Irish tonight on Saturday Night Football, presented by Windows 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The Irish take on a team that done pretty well against them in previous games where Notre Dame's been undefeated. Beat them last decade, did it twice in the 90s when the Irish were unbeaten. Do you see a stumble here for Notre Dame or no?
Well, you never know. After last week against Pitt, I think Pitt is a better team than Boston College, but I anticipate that Notre Dame's not going to stumble again the rest of the year.
Wildcats keep it on the ground with Mark, and he's brought down after a gain of 4 to the 25-yard line by Will Campbell. Look at the last 3 possessions for Northwestern. They're moving the ball on this Michigan defense, which comes in 7th in the nation in yards allowed, 13th in points allowed.
Well, it's really been the option game which has been the difference. And can Michigan find the schemes? Can Greg Madison dial up the scheme to stop the option game on the perimeter? That's really been the difference in those 3 drives.
Think about it. Michigan under Brady Hoke, when it scores 21, has not lost a game, but they're trailing despite having 21. Mark stood up, pushed back. Campbell again getting off a block, making a play. Short game. It'll bring up 3rd down.
No, and I'm surprised that they're not continuing to run the option. That time they give it to Venrick Mark on the inside, and big Will Campbell at 310 pounds says, you're not going to run inside on me.
Trumpy is in the game and running back now, flanking Coulter on 3rd down and 5. Coulter's been very good on 3rd down so far. He'll throw it here. Into coverage, it's pulled in. 1st down. Christian Jones. And he's wrapped up by Thomas Gordon at the 38.
For those people that think Kane Coulter can't throw the football from the pocket, Exhibit A, he can throw the ball from the pocket. That was a dart. If you try to contain him in the pocket and give him time to throw, he will throw the ball accurately down the field and hurt you.
See if Northwestern gets a snap. Nope. They will not before the end of the quarter. Northwestern's 2 losses have come when they've had leads going into the 4th. They've got Michigan by 3 with 15 minutes left.
Choosing a Windows.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
3-point battle in Ann Arbor, and Northwestern has got momentum with the option game. Take a look in the second half. The option has killed Michigan. They're optioning the nickel. That's Cam Gordon. Big play to Venrick Mark for a 1st down. Same thing. You come with a pressure, and you can option off of the big nickel. And then the last part, you get a blitz from Michigan to try to take it away, and you option the defensive end, and the blitzing Jordan Kovacs is not on the pitch. Leads to a big play. The option has really hurt Michigan in the second half.
And Pat Fitzgerald, 37 years of age, yet the 2nd longest tenured coach in the Big Ten. Getting his guys fired up for the 4th quarter. Northwestern possessed it for over 11 minutes in the 3rd. And a big hole here for Mark. 1st down, and Kovacs brings him to the ground at the 50, but after 12 yards. And Northwestern again moving the football on this Michigan defense. Wildcats have lost twice this year. They had Penn State by double figures, leading by 11 in the 4th. They blew a 12-point lead against Nebraska in the 4th and lead Michigan by 3. Early 4th here in Ann Arbor. Coulter takes off. Might have been a broken play from the get-go, but Coulter makes something out of it. Gets nailed out of bounds on the sideline by Joe Bolden. There is a penalty marker down. 8-yard gain for now.
Penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
On the left tackle, Patrick Ward.
On broken play, linemen, sometimes they get out of position, and when your quarterback starts to move around, you try to make a block on the outside. And take a look and see if we can.
Right there at the end, looked like he hit Desmond Morgan in the back. It's a spot foul, 1st and 15. And Coulter going to go deep. One-on-one coverage, and the pass is incomplete. Kovacs broke it up. Vitale, the intended receiver, Vitale had a touchdown catch in the third quarter.
It's a great play by Jordan Kovacs. Watch him see the ball into the player's hands and then get his hands on his arms. Don't get there too early when you're a defensive back. Once he puts his hands up, then you put your hands up and try to break his free from the football.
You wanted the call, but good no call. You know, the Big Ten has taken some heat for some other missed calls on pass interferences earlier, but they've gotten them right today. 2nd and 15. Here comes a blitz. And Coulter will keep trying to get outside. Wrapped up at the 49 in Michigan territory, a pickup of 6.
And this was another option with a blitz from Michigan. Watch them come from the outside. And this time they get Jake Ryan on the pitch and force Kane Coulter to keep the ball and make leverage on the football to the rest of your defense. That's playing the option better in the second half.
3rd down and 9. Northwestern is 7 of 11 on 3rd down. And Coulter has made a lot of plays through the air on 3rd down. And Christian Jones has been his go-to target in these situations today. Here comes pressure. Coulter in trouble. Hit as he throws incomplete. It was Kovacs on a blitz. Got to the quarterback and forces a punt. And Coulter a little slow to get up.
Take a look at the bullet. Here comes Kovacs. Here comes Ryan. He's going to come right through. It's a zone blitz. Kovacs with great effort and energy gets to Kane Coulter for a big stop on 3rd down.
And then you saw at the end there, Jabril Black. Coulter got hit into Black and was slow to get up. Kind of had his head down as he walked off the field. Good hang time on the punt. And fair caught by Dillio inside the 10. 41-yard punt. Michigan backed up early 4th, trailing by 3. ESPN College Football is available anytime, anywhere on your computer or mobile device via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. Early 4th quarter in Ann Arbor. Key game in the Legends Division standings of the Big Ten. No Denard Robinson because of the nerve injury to his throwing elbow. And Devin Gardner making his 2nd consecutive start at quarterback. Started the year as a wide receiver. In trouble on his goal line and got rid of the pass. We'll see if they mark him down or if they rule that he got rid of the pass first. Pressure by Tyler Scott.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 28 was in the area.
Okay, so
Second down.
No grounding, and he wasn't in the grasp and down on the play.
What a great effort here from Devin Gardner. He didn't see Arnfeld coming off the weak side, and he just throws that ball in the area. And Toussaint was back there. Don't know if he was in the pattern or not, but the fact that he was back there prevented the safety.
On 2nd down, he throws complete, and it's going to be a 1st down for Roundtree. Boy, that last play, it was close to his left forearm being down before he released the pass. Let's see here. It's anything other than a hand or a foot. It's close to that forearm being down. But it looked like the ball was out of the end zone. It probably wouldn't have been a safety, just would have been spotted at the 1. Now it's 1st down on the 20. Play action for Gardner. And another long throw on the money and caught. Roundtree out to the 46-yard line, a 25-yard pass.
I tell you, there's been some outstanding throws from Devin Gardner. This one right on the money. That is not an easy pass, a long developing play. Call that a bench route. You've got to anticipate and put air under that ball and let your receiver run out underneath it. And Roundtree, I bet that looks beautiful in 3D. That's a beautiful throw and catch.
Now Michigan not in trouble now. The ball at its 45-yard line, but no running room for Toussaint. He'll lose yardage. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Reese.
Dave, it's time for a Dr. Pepper conference update. In ACC Coastal is a complete mess. Miami's in the lead. Stephen Morris against Virginia to Clive Walford for the touchdown. Now Morris was going in for another score inside the 5 just a second ago and fumbled. 31-28, Canes have the lead.
Here it's 24-21, Northwestern on top. In the Wildcat territory is Dillio off a strong throw from Devin Gardner, 13-yard gain.
you're starting to see more and more confidence from Devin Gardner. We hadn't seen him throw any balls really on the inside slant yet today. That's one of the more difficult throws because there's a lot of traffic in there, and it's a confident throw from Devin Gardner on a conversion from Drew Dillio.
He's hit 6 of his last 7 passes. And Gardner in the gun here on first down. They'll run Toussaint. And he pushes forward to the 36-yard line for about 5. Let's check in with Jen Brown.
Thanks, Dave. Well, before the game, Denard said that obviously he wanted to be on the field with his teammates, but being a leader, a senior leader, that is, he's going to find any way to help out he can. Well, he's taken the role of coach down here on the sidelines. He's going up and down the bench, talking to guys, pulling individual guys aside, telling them what he sees. We saw him pull Roundtree aside, obviously before this last offensive series. Probably a good message to him there with that long catch, but he's really just doing anything he can to contribute, and that's what he said, and that's what the coaches said he's done such a good job of the last 2 games.
By the way, Colin Ellis is hurt right now for Northwestern. You could tell yesterday, Brian, in talking with the coaches, it's a tough decision because they love Denard Robinson and what he's meant to this program. This is his final go at it in college football, a senior who helped lead the resurgence after that miserable stretch of 3 seasons, got him to the Sugar Bowl last year.
Yeah, being a captain at Michigan is about so much more than just being on the field. And what I've seen from Denard Robinson last week and this week is the true essence of being a captain, and that is being there for your teammates no matter what, no matter whether you can play or not.
They'll give it to Toussaint again. And they're starting to get some holes between the tackles. Toussaint with the first down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 10 before Carpenter makes the tackle.
Well, they put Joe Carriage in at fullback, number 36. Take a look at him on Proby. He's up to the task, and finally, Michigan is finding a little bit of running room in between the tackles. This is what Brady Hoke and Al Borges want to see from their offensive line up front.
8th play of the drive coming. And Gardner been shotgun a bunch here on this possession. Little half roll and a completion to Gallen. And Gallen gets good yardage there. 7th catch of the day. 29th on the season. Gallen had been shaken up, an ankle issue a week ago, but he's all right today. A career high 7 catches.
Well, you mentioned earlier about the collapse that Northwestern has had in games, specifically the Nebraska game in the 4th quarter. This defense has got to dig deep, find a way to get a stop and force a field goal attempt.
They go with 2 backs, 2 tight ends here, 2nd and short. And looks like an offside. Free play. Ball to the end zone. Incomplete. Roundtree, the intended receiver. Quentin Williams for Northwestern jumped into the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense, number 88. The yardage of 5 yards is enough for a first down.
It's another offside that leads to a first down.
Sorry, these are the kinds of plays in late in games in the 4th quarter that get you beat, and that's the consistent topic amongst all the losses that Northwestern has had this year, has been kind of these things in the 4th quarter, and to give a first down on a penalty, you just cannot have that.
First down from the 12 for Michigan. 3rd offside penalty on Northwestern that's resulted in a Wolverine first down. Here's Toussaint. Nose dives to the 8 for 4 yards. Wabusi brings him down. Approaching 9 minutes to go here in the 4th. Northwestern on top by 3. Nebraska plays in about 45 minutes at home against Penn State. ABC, ESPN2. Right now, Nebraska and Michigan are tied atop the Legends division. Cornhuskers beat Michigan. Northwestern a game back of both. So the Wildcats probably out of it if they lose today. Half roll. Roundtree was going one way, and the other way was Gallen, and he was the intended receiver. And the pass off his hands, incomplete. It's 3rd down and 6.
3rd down and 6 here. I think if you're Michigan, you want to get. They've been getting Devin Gardner out on the edge with these waggles and nakeds and things like that, but he's so dangerous with his feet. But even when you just drop him straight back, he can still get out and elude. So right here, you might try to get a run pass option for Devin Gardner.
What about the tight end Funchess? We haven't really seen him involved here. Down in the red zone. 3rd down and 6. In trouble. Gardner, end zone, Funches, touchdown. Gardner just threw it up to him, and it's 6 feet 4 inches tall. Funches goes up the ladder and brings it down. His 4th touchdown catch, his first catch of the game.
Great poise from Devin Gardner in an all-out blitz situation to hold it as long as he can and identify the one-on-one matchup that he liked with Funches. And you might have a future as an offensive coordinator.
I think he'll stick with his job. A lot less stress. Extra point makes it 28-24. Gardner has accounted for 3 touchdowns for the 2nd straight game. That's tough, hanging in there, throwing it up to his big true freshman tight end Devin Funches with Campbell wrapped around him. Makes the catch.
The Funch Bunch.
There is specific.
It's a game of inches. Take a look at Chichi Araguza. He's going to come off the edge. He's unblocked. If you're a quarterback, you got to buy just enough time to run a double move with the tight end Funches and throw it up in the back of the end zone. Araguza, you step up, buy just enough time, and then give it up to the Funch Bunch in the end zone for a big touchdown. Great move by the young tight end. They've got a lot of talent, and if you're Araguza, you know that you needed to make that play to prevent the touchdown.
That's 14 unanswered points by Michigan over the last 8 minutes. We talked about Northwestern's defense. Can they hold up in the 4th quarter with a lead? That lead has evaporated. Wolverines by 4, but plenty of time on the clock for Northwestern, and a dangerous return man in Mark. And he is past the 30-yard line. Mark past the 40. Goodbye. Venrick Mark, 96 yards, touchdown. There is a penalty flag, though, back at the 44-yard line.
During the return, holding. Return team, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Northwestern will keep the ball first down.
Pat Fitzgerald doesn't like to call, but man, how good is Venrick Mark?
Well, you've
Guys,
been
over
saying
100 yards rushing today.
You've been saying it all day. Why do they continue to kick the ball to him? I agree with you. I don't know that I would kick it to him. Let's try and find out where the hold is. Right there it is. When you get a takedown, that alerts the official. You can see the yellow flag right next to him.
But who was doing the taking down? Was it the Michigan player, Hawthorne, or the Northwestern player?
Couldn't see it there. He just ended up on the ground.
First down for Northwestern on its 34-yard line. And Coulter with the late keep gets 3. Brought down by Kenny Demmons. Approaching 8 to play here in the 4th quarter. Northwestern trying to get its 8th win of the season. Go to 4-2. A game back right now of Michigan and Nebraska in the Legends division. Tyrus Jones in at running back. Next to Coulter. Coulter to the air. Short throw. And out to the 42-yard line is Christian Jones. 3rd down and short coming up. We'll see if at some point we see Trevor Siemian again at quarterback for Northwestern.
I wouldn't. Kane Coulter has played a fantastic football game. He's done it with his arm. He's done it with his legs. There's no need to panic if you're Mick McCall and Northwestern. You're down 4, 7.5 minutes in this game. Run your offense. Do what has been effective all game.
3rd down and 2. Coulter steps up. Gets a block. Takes a shot and close to the first down. Desmond Morgan hit him hard. It's like they're going to spot him just short.
Great effort from Kane Coulter. You talk about the will to win, taking on 2 Michigan defenders. Looks like he does come up just short.
And that's where the ball is, and he had an official right there. They'll measure. Now, if he doesn't get it, it's 4th down. You get 7 minutes left. Do you kick it away here? Do you go for it on 4th and inches?
I think I'd punt it. There's no reason to take the risk here. All 3 of your timeouts, but it looks like he got a first down.
He did.
Great effort from Kane Coulter. You can't talk about his toughness enough. He plays for a very tough coach in Pat Fitzgerald, and he is a great example of how Pat Fitzgerald wants to play on the field. Despite the fact that he's a quarterback, he plays more like a linebacker.
Got a really good block, too, from Tyrus Jones, the running back. Now, Venrick Mark is back in. Keep an eye on him. Over 100 yards rushing today and a touchdown. And they're going to throw it, though, to the flat. Cameron Dickerson with nowhere to go. Game tackle, Gordon and Floyd leading the charge. No gain on the play.
And that's the first time we have really seen today the Michigan defense rally to the football. We talked earlier about one of the biggest differences in this defense is their effort and their energy to the football. Greg Madison talks about that. They start practice every single day with the pursuit drill, which is not assignments, it's just running to the football. Basically a sprint drill, and this defense has really bought into Greg Madison.
Amazing the turnaround from a couple of years ago when they were at the bottom of the country in most statistics defensively. In trouble, Coulter gets away from an ankle tackle. There's the cutback, first down. And Coulter all the way to the 40-yard line. What a great run by Coulter, but he's hurt. Kane Coulter shaken up after the 15-yard run. He got away from an ankle tackle. Don't know if that's when he got hurt or if it was non-contact. Trevor Siemian will come into the game at quarterback. Kovacs brought him down.
He's such a tough player. He puts himself in these positions. He's trying to get every inch, and he's really been fortunate this season to avoid injury, and hopefully this isn't anything serious, but it looks like Kovacs comes down to the bottom of his leg and his foot was caught in the ground, and it looked like he turned that ankle. But he clearly is in a lot of pain, and for a kid like Kane Coulter that just loves to play this game and loves to be out there and compete, you hate to have to see him come out of a game that's this tight with 6 minutes left when he's been such a big part of why they're in this position. But injuries are part of the game, and the fortunate thing for Pat Fitzgerald is he's got a quarterback in Trevor Siemian that has played a bunch this season and shown that he can do the job in the fourth quarter.
Siemian 4 of 5, 51 yards, and that beautiful back shoulder touchdown pass to Cameron Dickerson at the end of the first half. Inside 6 to play. Northwestern down 4. They'll run the ball. Mark wrapped up by James Ross. There's a penalty flagged out. Ross, a true freshman from Orchard Lake, Michigan, has really had a good game. There's some terrific young players, and we're not even including Blake Countess, who played a lot as a freshman last year, but hurt his knee against Alabama's out for the year.
Number 79. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Neil Dieter's the right guard, called for the penalty.
Yeah, and I think if you're Northwestern right now, you need to take a deep breath. You know, and sometimes when your leader goes out of the game, people start to look around who's going to step up, and then you have a holding penalty, and now you're behind in the down and distance at 1st and 20. Trevor Siemian needs to take a deep breath, execute the offense. You don't have to get all of this back in one throw. Just execute, complete passes, and you'll be all right.
They're still looking at Coulter over on the Northwestern bench. Siemian got him in and got a first down, or at least close to it, as Demetrius Fields makes the catch. Almost 20 on the play.
Watch James Ross, the linebacker, number 15, inches away from getting a hand on that football, but you've got to know, if you're Michigan on defense, that when Siemian comes into the game, it's now not an option game. This is a passing game. Get to your depth to the linebackers, stick to your man in pass coverage.
It's a first down, 27 catch of the year, first of the day for Demetrius Fields. Here's Mark, can't get away from a couple of defenders. He's slippery, but Kenny Demmons made sure that Mark didn't get out of there. No gain. Inside 5 to go here in the fourth. And a 2nd and 10 for Northwestern. Actually, they'll officially give him a 1-yard loss. Mark will come out of the game. Tyrus Jones will be in at tailback for 2nd and 11. And Simeon still in the game at quarterback. Sophomore from Windermere, Florida. Play number 8 of the drive coming up. Simeon to the air. Pocket collapsing. Simeon rolling and then throws it away. And there's a flag. He was hit late out of bounds. Brennan Byer hit the quarterback late. And Pat Fitzgerald knows it's going to be a first down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 97, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Only the 2nd Michigan penalty. Let's see. Yep, took 2-3 steps.
Took a step. Yeah, it's just unnecessary. You don't need to make, especially in this situation, late in the game, a young player, a true sophomore, and Pat Fitzgerald. I don't think I've ever seen him jump so high.
Now, the fans didn't like to call, but he did take 2-3 steps. Wasn't volatile, but by rule, that's a penalty.
Don't even put yourself in that situation. There's no need to do that. The ball's gone, you see it gone, and then you take a shot at a quarterback. It's not necessary.
They go empty here as Mark flexes out. Pass to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Simeon finds Tony Jones. Northwestern retakes the lead. How about Simeon? Cold off the bench at the end of the half with a brilliant pass to Dickerson. And then he comes in for the injured Coulter on this drive. Already they're in Michigan territory. And he finishes the drive with a nice touchdown pass.
Calm, cool, collected. 1st and 20, no problem. He's been throwing the ball on target all game.
Point after makes it 31-28 Northwestern. Simeon 6 of 7 passing, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the go-ahead toss to Tony Jones. Northwestern on the road leads it late in the 4th quarter.
College football.
Big touchdown throw to set Northwestern up by 4. Take a look. They're going to play quarters coverage, and Tony Jones ends up matched up on the linebacker Demmons. This is a mismatch. Northwestern sees it. Trevor Simeon executes, and it's an easy touchdown for Northwestern, but a perfectly thrown football. Take a look from the back end. Watch how Simeon anticipates this throw. This is not a big window here. He's getting ready to throw the football, but he leads Tony Jones across the field, thrown perfectly. Trevor Simeon, very impressive in this game throwing the ball.
2 touchdown passes, and Northwestern leads it 31-28 over Michigan. And now we'll see how Devin Gardner, in his 2nd career start at quarterback, although he played some last year in spot duty, how he'll handle this final drive. 4 minutes to go and all their timeouts. First the kickoff. Here's Norfleet. In trouble. Spins away from a couple of guys and still going. Norfleet all the way to the 42-yard line, and it looked like he might get tackled at the 10. Let's go to the studio and check in with Reese.
All right, Dave, time for Sports Center right now, presented by Discover Card. What is happening in the swamp? Louisiana Lafayette blocks the punt. Bradley Brown got the block. Blake Kamini from the Raging Cajuns raging into the end zone. And Louisiana Lafayette up 17-13. South Carolina is blowing past Arkansas. DJ Swearinger had a couple of 15-yard penalties and had a pick 6 on one drive. He also threw the ball in the stands at the end of that pick 6.
An interception by Northwestern's Dugar as Gardner throw it up for grabs. And a huge play giving Northwestern possession with a 3-point lead and 3:37 remaining. On first down, Gardner throws downfield. Dugar was waiting for it and picked it off.
Dugar has been targeted a number of times in this game. Take a look. He's at the top of the screen. Funchess is just going to come out, and Devin's going to try to get the football to him. but Dugard plays off of the wide receiver, reads the route, does a great job of anticipating, and he's right there to make a big play for Northwestern. You got to know as a quarterback when you take that shot downfield, am I throwing against man or am I throwing against zone? And that time Dugard baited Gardner into throwing.
Kane Coulter is back in the game at quarterback for Northwestern after getting injured on the previous drive. Here's Trumpy for about 3. We'll see when Michigan starts to use its timeouts. They will here. So Gardner, we talked about it. It's in his hands. Denard Robinson is injured. It's Gardner's first real adversity as the Michigan quarterback with his team trailing, and he throws a pick on first down. Michigan not done yet if they can stop the Wildcats. Back for second down in a moment.
Look at guys. You're thinking bigger. But you see this 30.
ESPN College Football is presented by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard, and in part by Dell, the power to do more.
Northwestern on top by 3 over Michigan. Late fourth quarter. Denard Robinson didn't start, not available because of the elbow injury. Gardner has accounted for 3 touchdowns, but he just threw an interception, giving Northwestern a second down and 7 after a 3-yard gain on first down. Coulter will keep it and get stacked up after a gain of a couple at the 45. Let's get the latest on Coulter in the quarterback situation for Northwestern.
Yeah, well, we obviously see he's back in the game, but I can tell you he came over to the sidelines and he's got a massive taped job on that left ankle. They taped it underneath, put another brace on it, taped it again. Now, obviously, we've seen him make so many great plays today with his feet. You got to wonder if that's going to give him a problem here in the last 3.5 minutes.
That's a good point. What do you do here? You got 3rd and 5. You got a running quarterback, but he's banged up. Well, so how do you handle this?
If I'm Mick McCall, I'm going to throw the ball with Kane Coulter, or I might put Trevor Siemian in the game here on the 3rd down, because you know that he's not going to be able to run effectively. And if I'm Michigan, I'm more inclined to come after Kane Coulter in this situation because I'm not as worried about him getting out on the edge and beating with his legs.
Michigan just used its second timeout. I mean, there's a lot of time left. So if you're Northwestern, are you really thinking about, well, let's just force Michigan to call its final timeout and punt the ball? Are you attacking here?
For me, I want to attack, get a first down, put this game away.
Northwestern is 8 of 13 on 3rd down and 6 of 8 this half. They need to get to the 40. Option, Coulter keeps, and Coulter, beautiful move, is going to be close. Made a great move. Initially, it looked like he was going to get tackled at the line of scrimmage, but got away from trouble. He looks to be short, though. An official timeout. They're going to say Michigan timeout. He's definitely short looking at the spot. He's short by a yard. It's 4th down. Michigan's out of timeouts. Okay,
but you're
Northwestern,
right.
what do you do?
Well, you're right. I mean, great effort from Kane Coulter to make that kind of a move on an option play, a sharp cut on that ankle, and almost get this first down. Take a look. He has the right read, and Michigan has it pretty well defensed, but
are you going for it if you're Northwestern, or are you kicking 4th and 1? You can seal the game if you get a first down because Michigan's out of timeouts.
To me, with the way that Kane Coulter just ran on that last play, I would go for it, and I would keep the ball in his hands, and I would run the option. And if you don't get it, then you just got to depend on your defense if they're going to get a stop. But if I know Pat Fitzgerald at all, he's an aggressive coach, and he wants to salt and put this game away, and so I think they're going to go for it here.
Brandon Williams, the punter, has dropped 2 inside the 10, but they're going for it on 4th down and 1. And Michigan can't get lined up, and they can't call a timeout. They don't have any. Northwestern just called a timeout.
Northwestern, they're first. 30 seconds in length.
So why would you, if you're Northwestern, call a timeout when it appeared that Michigan couldn't get lined up correctly?
Michigan was not lined up correctly, but evidently Pat Fitzgerald, Mick McCall saw something wrong with his formation on offense that they didn't like. And you want to have the perfect play called in this situation on offense, even if the defense wasn't ready to go.
Maybe he's rethinking also whether he's going to go for it or not. No, they're still going to go. 4th down and 1. They'll keep the offense on the field. We've seen Northwestern jump off sides a bunch today. Maybe Northwestern will try to get Michigan to jump here on 4th and 1. Mark is behind Coulter. Now Mark in motion. Coulter will keep, and Coulter gonna be close. He got hit by James Ross.
Wow.
All the pins obviously
Big
on
hit.
the spot. And judging forward progress on those is tough.
A huge hit from James Ross III right in the hole. Take a look.
And watch where the ball is here. It's all about where the ball is, and you can't tell there. Let's see from this angle if you can see the ball. If it crosses the 40-yard line, I think he's short. But again, it's all based on where they put the football down.
The nose
it's
of
right
the
on
football
the
is touching the 40-yard line. Yeah, just barely.
Oh my goodness. Whew. The officials haven't decided yet.
He got it.
First down. I mean, he barely got it. Now, Michigan cannot challenge. They don't have a timeout. They can't challenge the spot. Now, it may come from upstairs anyway to look at that again. But because you couldn't see the ball, it's in the middle of the field. It's awfully hard.
And that's just
review.
what Brady Hoke is saying right now. He says, can I challenge the spot? And he's saying, I don't have any timeouts, so I can't challenge it. And that's the hard part about this. You're in this situation where you use your timeouts.
So they will look at it anyway. But again, it's so hard. It's middle of the field. You can't really see the ball to spot exactly, to overturn the ruling, to spot it differently. Again, it's all about what the ruling in the field was.
Right. And where his momentum, where his forward progress stopped. And yeah, you're right. It's very difficult to overturn the ruling on the field in these kinds of situations where you're looking to see who makes a first down.
Boy, from that angle, it looks like he's short. I mean, but again, it's the end zone angle. But it looked from that particular angle like he was short.
This could go either way. This could go either way. And at the end of the day, what an effort from Kane Coulter.
No, they didn't take a long time looking at it.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Northwestern.
Yeah, that's again, the ruling in the field was he got the first down. The spot was good enough for the first down. It's almost impossible to overturn that. Now the game's not over because you do have 3:07 on the clock, and we'll see how Northwestern handles this as well.
Well, now if you're Northwestern, you're going to take as much time off of the clock as you possibly can, but you still need a first down if you want to run the clock out.
Yeah. You can take about 2 minutes off the clock before fourth down. Play clock is at 8, so the snap will come with about 2:41. I'll actually snap it a little bit early here. And mark. It's maybe a yard, so the next snap will come around the 2-minute mark.
I've just been really impressed with how physical and how tough Kane Coulter is, and Venrick Mark for that matter. These guys are not, finesse players, and it's apropos in a game like this with two defensive-minded coaches that preach physicality and toughness that the game could potentially come down to that one fourth down play where Kane Coulter had to barrel over James Ross.
Again, if Michigan gets the ball back, it's going to be in the hands of Gardner again, who just threw an interception on the last Michigan possession because of the injury to Robinson. Here's Coulter, cuts it upfield, and brought down after minimal gain by Kenny Demon. So the next snap on third down will come with about 1:20 on the clock.
Right.
And if they get a first down, the game's over. Do you take a shot by putting it in the air here, or you just keep it on the ground?
I'm going to keep it on the ground. You don't want an incomplete pass in this situation is the worst thing that Northwestern can have. So you keep this on the ground, snap it, like you said, about 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Looks like they're going to let it all run down and then use one of their timeouts, which is smart. And then Michigan, in best case scenario, get the ball back with about 40 seconds on the clock.
1:14 remaining. No timeouts for Michigan. 1 left for Northwestern. 3-point Wildcat lead. SEC and Pac-12 matchups tonight. ESPN's primetime college football doubleheader at 7. LSU coming off that heartbreaking loss to Bama, trying to rebound against Mississippi State. Oregon, Cal at 10:30. The Ducks look obviously incredible on offense, and playing a Cal team that's struggling. Meanwhile, Michigan hoping to get one more shot on offense, even though they won't have that guy, Denard Robinson, but he's still playing the role of leader, talking to his offensive line, his receivers. They may have one more chance if they can stop Northwestern here. If the Wildcats hang on and Nebraska loses to Penn State, Northwestern is definitely alive for the Legends Division title. They'll pitch it on 3rd and 9, and Mark's going to get spun down at the 44. A loss of 5. So the 4th down punt, assuming they punt, will come with about 30 seconds left.
Yep. And I'm surprised that they even called that option route. That pitch is not a guarantee. I mean, that thing could have been on the ground, but that just shows you how much confidence Pat Fitzgerald has in Kane Coulter and Venrick Mark to protect the football.
Northwestern will call its final timeout before the punt with about 30 seconds left. Brandon Williams has pinned Michigan inside the 10 twice. Wolverines need a field goal, but again, they don't have any timeouts.
Delay of game. Offense, number 2. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So they took the penalty so they could save the timeout just in case.
Right.
So let's see if Michigan comes after this. They're actually going to send 2 men deep. Be surprised they don't have more guys on the line of scrimmage to go after the kick.
Yeah, it looks like they are setting up for a return, but you're not going to get a return in this scenario. Yeah, if I were Michigan, I would come after this with every guy I had.
Instead, they're dropping 2 guys deep as they normally do. Gallen and Dillio are the deep men. Here's Gallen on the 15-yard line. Gallen past the 30 and all the way to the 37 with 18 seconds left. Remember, the clock will stop on 1st downs, and their kicker, Brandon Gibbons, has made a 52-yarder this year.
That was a bad punt there. You do not want to put. That was a poor punt, which gave Michigan, that ball should be inside the 10-yard line. It gave Michigan 30 yards right off the bat. Now they only need one big play to get to the 35-yard line.
No timeouts. 18 seconds left. Gardner steps up, in trouble. Throws it up for grabs. Contact, and it's caught on the redirection by Roundtree. They got to get down there and spike it. Clock will stop to reset the chains, and then it'll restart.
Make sure everybody's set so you don't get a penalty.
Right.
That'd be a runoff.
Runoff and the game would end. Everybody is set. 53-yard pass play. There's the spike. Now do you kick the field goal or do you take a shot to the end zone? They're going to go for the field goal, but how about this by Roundtree?
What concentration from Roundtree. You take a shot downfield, you get bumped. They're not going to call pass interference as they should down there. And great concentration from Roy Roundtree. Big players make big plays in big situations.
So here comes Gibbons, who's made 10 straight field goals to tie the game. 26-yarder. 7 seconds left. Michigan opting not to take a shot to the end zone. Just going for the tie. And the kick is good with 3 seconds left. And actually, the clock kept running down to zeros. Let's see how the officials rule it if they put time back on the clock here. How about that? Gardner throws it up for grabs. Roundtree, honoring Desmond Howard by wearing his number 21, makes a Howard-like play. Concentrating.
Set the game clock for 2 seconds. 2 seconds on the game clock.
So they'll put 2 seconds on the clock, but look at this concentration.
It's tipped by the defender. Great concentration. It's on his shoulder, then to control it down to the ground. Gives Michigan a shot to force this to go to overtime.
Here's the important thing about 2 seconds being on the clock. Northwestern's last kickoff went for a touchdown by Venrick Mark. It was called back because of a penalty.
Right.
If you're Michigan, do you kick it deep?
No.
They've done it all day, though.
There's no question. This will be a squib in the middle of the field. There's no question about that. And the only good thing for Michigan in overtime is they don't have to kick the ball to Venrick Mark.
Roundtree with incredible effort and concentration to come down with that. The field goal by Gibbons to tie it. We're 2 seconds away from overtime. We'll see if they allow Venrick Mark to get his hands on the ball.
We had a feeling this was going to be one of these kinds of games, back and forth. There's some great playmakers on both sides, on both teams, and none of them have disappointed. From the toughness of Kane Coulter and the elusiveness, and Devin Gardner made mistakes and comes back. Been a great game.
And they're going to let it roll all the way to Mark. He had trouble with it. Now scoops it up. No time left. Mark at the 20. Mark at the 30. Mark being chased. And they'll get him. And we'll go to overtime. I'm surprised they did even that. Kick it. Why not just kick it into the ground? Do an onside kick. There's going to be no time left. Why even take a chance of letting that kid get his hands on it if you're Michigan? What a wild fourth quarter here in Ann Arbor. Michigan was down 10, came storming back. Gardner hanging in the pocket, finding Funchess for the touchdown. Michigan went up 28-24. Then Simeon, replacing an injured Kane Coulter, throws the go-ahead touchdown pass to Tony Jones. Then it looks like it's over for Michigan. Gardner throws a pick. Inside 4 minutes left. The Wolverines use all their timeouts. And then Gardner, one last chance, throws it up for grabs. Roundtree off the redirection makes the catch. And Gibbons with the field goal to tie it and send it to overtime. By the way, Northwestern has never lost an overtime game against a Big Ten team. They're 7-0. Here are the rules for the extra session in college football. Each team gets a possession from the 25-yard line until the winner is decided. Once you hit the third overtime, after a touchdown, you got to go for 2.
I think the big thing looking forward to this overtime with Northwestern is the health of Kane Coulter. How is that ankle? And can he be effective in the overtime period?
How about the respect for Denard Robinson not playing because of the elbow injury, but the captain out there in this situation for the coin toss?
We'll play overtime. Both teams will have one timeout, okay? Both teams will have a chance to possess the ball from the 25-yard line. The winner of the coin toss will choose offense, defense, or end of the field, okay? Northwestern, you're the visiting team. You'll call the coin. It's the same U.S. silver dollar. That's the head. That's the tail. What's your call, Northwestern?
Tails.
Your call's tails. Here we go. It's a tail.
Defense.
You want defense? Which end of the field do you want to play on? Which end of the field do you want to play on?
We want to play on that end, right?
Okay, yep, we'll play down there.
Well, did you hear what Jordan Kovac said? We want to play on that end right down there with those students.
Although the team that usually wins the coin toss defers, so it knows what it has to do on offense after the opponent's possession. Brady Hoke doesn't seem to mind. He wants this end here. He's okay with that.
He heard what Kovac said out there. He said, I'm fine with that.
Who has the advantage here? Michigan's got momentum, and Northwestern's quarterback's not 100%.
Both of these teams have played at times outstanding football today. I don't know if there's an advantage one way or the other. I just think that both of these teams have played so well, it's fitting that this game's going to come down to an overtime session.
Michigan ball on the 25.
I'll say this, you've got one quarterback that has a lot of experience in Kane Coulter, and then you have another quarterback in Devin Gardner who's still just learning, still just green, but has a tremendous amount of potential. We've seen him beat Northwestern's defense with his feet, and right now Brady Hoke is not telling Devin Gardner to be cautious at all. If it's there, use your feet.
Two backs and two tight ends on first down. Play action for Gardner. Into the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. intended for Roundtree. Dangerous throw with Carpenter and Dugar converging.
We talk about a young quarterback. You need to look off the safety in a one-man route. That time, Devin Gardner didn't look the safety off, and there was an opportunity to get that ball, just missed it.
So 2nd down and 10. Michigan tied with Nebraska atop the Legends division. Northwestern a game back. Nebraska plays Penn State on ABC, ESPN 2, 3:30. Pass is caught. Roundtree's loose, 1st down, and run out of play inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal, 17 yards for Roundtree.
Northwestern has played soft with the corners on the outside all game. This hitch route has been there all day. They've come up and tackled well. That time a missed tackle allows Roundtree to get a 1st down.
1st and goal from the 8. Gardner's thrown for 286 yards, has accounted for 3 touchdowns, including 1 on the ground. He'll hand it off to Tucson. Inside the 5. A gain of 5 on the play to about the 3 before Carpenter makes the tackle.
Can this Michigan offensive line get enough push at the end of this game and in overtime to get this ball in the end zone? They have been inconsistent in the running game, especially in the inside power run. Can they blow this Northwestern defensive line off the ball?
Tucson again. Powers through a tackle and gets to the 1. Definitely short though. Wabusi on the stop. Tucson lowered the shoulder and got to the 1. So 3rd down and goal. This gives Brady Hoke some options here. Run, pass. You got Funchess again, who they threw it to last time. What are you doing?
No, I'm doing the same thing you did on 1st and 2nd down. Give that ball to Rawls, give it to Toussaint, and put it on the backs of this offensive line to get in the end zone.
Toussaint is the back. It's play action. Gardner running. He's in. Touchdown, Michigan. Second touchdown on the ground for Devin Gardner. And Michigan leads it in overtime. Northwestern will have the ball next. Gibbons on for the extra point. Northwestern needs a touchdown and an extra point to tie.
Well, everybody was thinking the same thing I was. Toussaint wasn't going to get in there, just had to beat one guy, and Devin Gardner sprinting to the pylon for a big touchdown for Michigan. The linebackers, Proby, Wabusi, Araguzzo, they were all looking for the inside dive. Nobody left on the outside. Nice call, Brady Hoke.
Now it's up to the number 7 defense in the country. Can Michigan stop Northwestern? They've got all the momentum. The Wildcats have weapons with Coulter and Venrick Mark. They need a touchdown and the extra point to send it to a 2nd overtime.
Well, now we're going to get the answer to how healthy is Kane Coulter, because that's their offense. He and Venrick Mark's not even in the game.
Yeah,
it's Trumpy.
Yep, Trumpy and a tailback. And they shift him out of the backfield. Coulter to throw. In trouble being chased. Coulter's loose inside the 20. And dragged down at the 18-yard line by Ryan. Close to a horse collar tackle. Fitz upset. Thought maybe that there was a running lane that Coulter could have had.
Yeah, that was actually the same play that Simeon threw the touchdown on. It was better defense by Demmons, the linebacker. Nowhere for Kane Coulter to go with that football. Makes a great play with his feet.
Venrick Mark is in the game. 2nd and 3. Here's Mark. Now to squirt through a hole. Got maybe 2, but won't get the 1st down. Will Campbell. And Frank Clark on the stop, and Mark is shaken up. Oh, this would be a huge loss for Northwestern in this situation, any situation, but especially now where you're 3rd and short. Well, you use him as a back or out of the backfield as a receiver.
Yeah, you just hope that this injury isn't related to the one he had earlier in the game, because it looked like he got kneed in the head earlier in the game, and then this time he gets driven into the ground, and just hope those are not related. But this has been a physical football game. Two teams that are fighting for their life, both of them still alive in the Legends division.
And he's up. We'll see if he comes back in. It's 3rd down. They're in 4-down territory, obviously. Down 7. So Tyrus Jones will replace Mark. Tim Riley is in the backfield as well. And Coulter running, and he's short. Lost a yard. Devins made the tackle. So 4th down and 2.
Pat Fitzgerald and Mick McCall, knowing that they need a touchdown, took the opportunity on 3rd and short, knowing that if they didn't get it, they were going to go for it on 4th down. But they took the opportunity to maybe take a shot for the end zone. Well covered by Michigan defensively. Brings up the play of the game. You got to get the ball in Coulter's hands on the edge. I would run the option.
Northwestern does have a timeout if it wants to talk about it, and the Wildcats will use it here. So they were set up with Trumpy there to maybe run the option. Venrick Mark is shaken up. The timeout might give Venrick Mark a little bit more time if they want to try to put him in there for this 4th down play if he's healthy. Any chance Northwestern surprises us all and throws the ball here on 4th down and 2?
Well, with the way this game has gone, anything's possible. I mean, I thought they'd run it there on 3rd down. They wanted to take a shot. But I know this. The last time they had a 4th and 1, Kane Coulter ran over the linebacker and got the 1st down. There's nobody else I'd give the ball to.
What a heck of a game. And it looked like Northwestern was going to win the game. Michigan was out of timeouts. Gardner throws it downfield. There's single coverage down there. And Roundtree on the redirection catches it. They set up, tie the game with a field goal. They scored first in overtime. And now Northwestern may be down to its final play. 4th down and 2. It's Tyrus Jones in the game at running back with Trumpy. And Coulter waiting for it. And there was some movement on the left side of the line, but Michigan called timeout, so no penalty. Michigan called time first. And Brady's like, oh, can I have that one back? Called the timeout before the penalty. And you see on the left side there, Brian Mulrow moving.
You know, these head coaches, it's hard. You know, do you ice the kicker? Do you not ice the kicker? Do you call the timeout? You know, he didn't have a timeout left to challenge the spot. You know, these timeout usage in college football, when and when not to call timeouts, that's one of the things we see consistently every single week. It's very difficult to have all these scenarios played out in your mind, and it's all the pressures on the head coach to make those decisions.
Neither team has a timeout. 4th down and 2 at the Michigan 12 in overtime. Northwestern down 7. They look to the sideline for the check.
First time I've seen this 3-man defensive front for Michigan.
Play clock inside of 10. Coulter's got it. Here comes the option. Oh, Devins with a huge hit on Tyrus Jones, and the game is over. Michigan wins in overtime.
This was a different look on